Hello, hello, hello. You know, everybody's asking for that song, man. Like, I don't play it every fucking stream. What's the song? I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I tell everybody else, man. Go Google it. Oh my God, man. I got so much more of an appreciation for my overseas fans, man. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I got bags under my eyes. My blood is now caffeine. I got maybe 4 hours of decent sleep between yesterday and today. I don't know how you guys do it, man. I don't even think you guys are human. The Elimination Chamber, largely a waste of time. Not bad. I'm not saying predictable is bad, but largely a waste of time. But the road to WrestleMania is now a little bit more clear than it was on Friday. DM Hunk, he's going to WrestleMania. Becky Lynch, she's going to WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton, might as well give her money in the bank now, man. I don't give a shit what anybody says. And Rhea Ripley, man, what a moment. Main eventing the show with the unpredictable Nia Jax. Today, it's happy hour. The venue's open. Mr. Baydala is with me. He's got to sit through this long fucking intro. Tough shit. But you know what? I'll make him an old-fashioned when we get to the venue, man. And hopefully you guys are drinking as well. And on this Saturday afternoon, when I get there, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking. Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your WWE Elimination Chamber 2024 post show. It is Saturday, February 24th, 2024. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, joined by my co-host and very good friend, Mr. Andrew Baydala of Tuesday Night Titans. What is going on, man?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Early.
A little bit of Tuesday on a Saturday, man. I like it.
I know. Well, yeah, it's all right. It works, right? I mean, you know. It's early. I mean, it was early this morning, but you know what? I agree with your intro. Elimination Chamber for the most part was, I don't know. Besides like getting some clarity on some things was just kind of a miss for me.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad show by any means. 50,000 people. I know you documented it, and we'll get into all the discussion. Nick Khan, Triple H, WWE, TKO, they are making these shows, these B-level shows, just as big as the A-level shows. And it definitely showed today with Optus Stadium. It was a beautiful sight to behold. They went above and beyond with fireworks, the whole nine. If there's one big takeaway right at the top here with the show, I thought the presentation of the show was fantastic.
Oh, God. I mean, the WWE does production like nobody else. The stadium looked fantastic. The crowd shots were fantastic. The only thing that was an issue as it got later on in the night was that WWE logo on top of the chamber. You could see it kind of reflect down, and it kind of got like that purple blackish tint on some of the wrestlers. But other than that, I mean, nobody does a spectacle like WWE. Nobody. Maybe the NFL, but that's about it.
Yeah, it was quite the show as far as forwarding some things. It was a letdown in other areas, which we will talk about today on the post. I appreciate everybody joining us. It's one hell of a Saturday already. Just to go over a little bit of what I had to deal with. This fucking guy over here told me, "You're really going to go live for SmackDown?" I'm like, "Yeah, I owe it to my fans." He's like, "There's nothing happening." I'm like, "I know.
I'd warning you."
And then I get to like fucking 9:50. I'm like, "Do I really want to go live for SmackDown?" So I did it anyway. We were in and out about an hour and a half. I went to sleep. I maybe got 2 hours of sleep. Alarm was set for 4:30. Got up, made 37 ounces of a pot of coffee. It's all gone. And then on the couch. And it's just weird, man, watching the goddamn fucking sunrise and you're watching pro wrestling and then you're watching a pro wrestling show where the sun is setting. I'm like, what fucking dimension am I in, man?
Yeah, I mean, we got up at like 4 here. I got up at like 3:45, showered, did an ice plunge, and then, got some coffee brewing and then watched it. And what I don't like about Peacock is you cannot, if you wanted to start it at like 6 my time, which is 3 hours into the pay-per-view, 2 hours into the PLE, you can't do that anymore. They don't allow you. You have to wait till the show ends, and then they re-put it on Peacock, which to me is a miss. So
yeah, that's awful. The old WWE Network was not like that. You could just rewind what you kind of just walk into. So even if it's late. But yeah, it's tough, and I appreciate my UK fans, my overseas fans. I don't know how you fucking do it every week. Yeah, imagine waiting up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch a Monday Night Raw during the Vince era, man. I don't know how you guys did it.
Yeah, no.
Unbelievable. But anyway, we're going to get into the entire show quickly. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at JD from NY206, at Andrew Baydala on X. Make sure you guys go do that. We were live on Tuesday with another great discussion of Tuesday Night Titans episode 36. Go check that out. If you guys want us on the regular every week, that is our show on Tuesday night. If you guys missed the SmackDown post, which nothing really big happened except Braun Breaker's debut in ring against Dante Chen last night. He looked very good. Go check that out. That was streamed last night. And then I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of the weekend. I may actually just take the rest of the weekend off because there really isn't anything big happening until Monday, which officially begins the 5-week road to WrestleMania. So we're going to get into that next week. But please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. We got 2,000 in here. People still filing on in. I know other creators are going live around this time. I put it at 12:30, right in the middle of everything. Some people were going live at 12. Some people pushed their streams back to 1. But we are here, and we appreciate you guys joining us. And then, obviously, hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes, and the super chats are open. Whatever you guys felt about tonight's show, Drew and I want to hear. Get them on in. We will hang out at the end of the show. And like always, man.
Nobody does it like us. So, I mean, with all due respect to everybody, there's plenty of content for everybody. There's plenty of space for everybody, but no one's going to do this like us.
No, not at all. Like usual, man, on Tuesday nights, I will leave it up to you to get the ball rolling here. What do you want to talk about right out of the gate here for the Elimination Chamber and the biggest takeaway for the show tonight?
I think we should talk about the hot button topic right now, and that's Cody Rhodes. Cody kind of stated that, he wants to end all this madness with The Rock, and it seemed like, and I saw your tweet, he wants to go one-on-one with The Rock, and Seth, kind of stepped in and said, oh, you'll never be alone and stuff like that. But I could tell you this right now, Roman's not working twice.
No.
Rock's not working twice. I highly doubt Seth is working twice. And I don't know where they go with this Rock Roman stuff or you know, the Rock Cody stuff. I really don't know.
Yeah, I guess we could pick it up from that because it wasn't a match. It was more of a segment, and it's the biggest talking point coming out of the show tonight. I think the chamber matches were pretty predictable as far as the outcome. I think there was a little unpredictability there with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, but yeah, you and I have been saying that for weeks. It's either one of those two guys and then Becky Lynch. I think you put it perfectly on Tuesday. The women's match was much more predictable. They were not going to go and do two very predictable matches, so they gave you a little bit of a tease at the end of the men's, and the women's was very predictable. I don't think anybody thought Becky Lynch wasn't winning that match. But as far as this Cody stuff, I want to go over some of the key points that he said here in this Grayson Waller effect, who got a great reaction, being that it's his home country. He felt very comfortable there. He drank beer out of a shoe. They call it a shoe. I don't understand that. Do you know any backstory on that
whole
tradition there? Why do they do it, and does it make the beer taste better to them? I don't know what the whole deal is.
I highly doubt the beer tastes better. I don't know. It's a strange thing, but I know it was like a symbol in the early 20th century of like, I want to say like acceptance or like, I don't know. I'm not drinking from a shoe.
No, hopefully that was a new shoe. It looked like a new shoe. Or maybe it was the guy, maybe it was the shoes that the guy was wearing there. I don't know. He looked fucking toasted.
I know that, like drinking from, I know this from my military background, that drinking from shoes was like a military thing back in Germany. My dad told me that, but other than that, and they were boots. So I don't know where, like, I really don't know why or how this started, but I mean, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, that's, I don't even think I'll try it, but if I'm ever down there one of these days, I don't know. Maybe I will, but he did drink from a shoe, did Grayson Waller. He got in the ring, and Cody was there with Seth. The biggest thing from Seth, Drew, was he did say that as of this week, in a few days, he will be medically cleared to get back into in-ring competition. And he's
already cleared.
He's been walking pretty well for the weeks leading up to this show. And I think the whole rumor is, you touched upon it just a little bit ago, everybody is predicting this tag team match. And we went over it on Tuesday, how this thing does not make sense. I don't know why, as far as Seth Rollins is concerned, why you would want to throw him into a tag team match and then have him defend that title, which is now going to be a match against Drew McIntyre. So you have Rollins wrestling on night 1 and night 2 coming off of an injury that could have derailed him for an entire year. I don't think that's the right move, and I don't see that happening.
Again, Seth's cleared. I mean, whether or not, he's going to get the stamp of approval, quote unquote, for TV or anything else like that, that's all, on WWE's medical staff. But I can tell you right now that Seth's feeling fine and he's okay. The way he's bouncing around the past couple of weeks, even at the WrestleMania press conference or the kickoff, it just seemed to me like Seth was good to go then. And now it's more evident. I do not have Seth wrestle twice. I don't have this tag match at WrestleMania either, because it just doesn't make any sense. I get it makes sense, storyline wise, but you're risking The Rock, who never wrestles twice, let alone in a month. No offense, Roman. I mean, I've been one of your biggest supporters in terms of that, because you're an attraction, but let alone now you're gonna have him wrestle twice at WrestleMania. No way.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening, and I think that's a mistake for WWE and Seth Rollins. But Cody's in there with Grayson Waller. He asks everybody what he wants to talk about or what they want to talk about. Waller said, listen, it's my show, and I have to stop you for a brief moment. I need you to acknowledge the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So people booed. Waller then turned his attention to Seth Rollins. He asked him who he wants to face at WrestleMania. Rollins said the chamber match is stacked, and then he gave his inside scoop about him being medically cleared. He's ready to go. Whoever wins the chamber, I got news for him. Rollins says they don't stand a chance. And that's basically when it turned to Cody. He asks Cody if he thinks he's selfish taking The Rock versus Roman Reigns away from everyone. We got Rocky sucks chance. Obviously, everybody was pro Cody here. Cody says he's actually a fan of Dwayne. Seth acted like he just been kind of, jump scared at that moment. He kind of, sarcastically jumped back. Rhodes ran through a list of things Rock might call him if he were there. Cody crybabies. He went over all the Rock shtick. Talks about pie, Rudy Poo, sticking things up people's asses. Cody asked if there are any in Perth. Cody crybabies. Obviously, the crowd popped, and we got loud Cody chants. Cody said if Rock was there, he wouldn't want to talk about why Cody stepped out of the main event only to step right back in. I'm going to stop there. Cody said if Rock were there, he wouldn't want to talk about why Cody stepped out of the main event only to step right back in. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to talk about that. It's the most glaring, over-fucking-booked piece of shit aspect of this entire angle going into WrestleMania. I know we're not getting it, but
no, you will.
Something's got to be said, bro.
No, you will. You will get. Well, I think that's the whole reason why Cody brought this up. I think Cody is going. The reason they brought that up is, maybe Rock and Cody finally tell you what was said. And maybe that's the genesis of what happens and why maybe they have a singles match. I could see The Rock having a singles match with Cody at WrestleMania on night one. I could easily see Cody Rhodes working both nights of WrestleMania. Cody has been a workhorse and a stallion ever since he came back from his pectoral muscle injury, I believe back in, what was it, like June?
Yeah.
So, when he had that and then came back last year this last year at the Royal Rumble. So, yeah. I think Cody's going to work twice. That's the way to go. Cody Rock kind of softens Cody up. Maybe even shakes the Rock's hand. Rock extends the olive branch to Cody at the end of that match. And that starts to get the, hey, what are you doing, man? You're with us. No screwing of Cody at WrestleMania, but I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah, we'll get to that aspect in a second because it does lead into what we talked about on Tuesday with your idea building this long-term story between Rock and Roman. Waller then called The Rock the People's Champ. Rhodes just, goes and does what he's told, says Grayson Waller. Cody claimed that to be the People's Champion, you have to have the respect of the people. And Cody laid out a challenge. This was the biggest part of the entire evening to me. Cody laid out a challenge to face The Rock one-on-one, anytime, any place. So Rock will be and has already been advertised for SmackDown on Friday. Roman has not, so hopefully Rock, starting the real road to WrestleMania here, does say something in regards to this on Friday night. Seth Rollins then goes on and says, he puts his hand on Cody's shoulder and he says, when it comes to the bloodline, nothing is ever one-on-one. When that match happens, Rhodes won't be going at it alone. And that's what a lot of people are hanging on to, Drew. The fact that this tag team match could take place at WrestleMania. I think everybody's kind of under the assumption that it will. I don't think it won't. I think it won't. And for the reasons that we've talked about, obviously with Seth Rollins, Roman's not going to wrestle twice if he doesn't have to. Rock is certainly not wrestling twice. And then the whole aura of Cody and Roman being in the ring on night one, only to be in the ring at night two, kind of takes away from that huge main event aspect of them being in the ring for the World Championship on Sunday. There's a lot going against it. And if Rock wants to do it, we got Backlash coming up, another international PLE, Saudis coming up. You could do it at one of those shows. They're going to need a major main event. I don't know where they go, but certainly not WrestleMania.
And night one, you could have Seth in Cody's corner.
Yeah.
And Roman could be, just with The Rock representing the bloodline in Rock's corner. I just don't see WWE take, and they could, don't get me wrong, we could sit here, 5 to 6 days from now, 7 days from now and be like, well, we were wrong. But if you're asking me how I think this goes down, I think it's just a one-on-one with Cody and Rock. And I think you have the other men in the corners because you're really running a risk. Even if Roman and Cody or Roman and Seth don't do a heavy lifting in that tag match, if something happens, you're really running a risk. And also, I know WWE's riddled with injuries right now. We'll touch on Orton. Don't know if he's going to be all right or not, finish the match. But you do not run the risk of having your biggest main event for Sunday being potentially ruined. And Roman doesn't work. He doesn't do double duty ever. I just don't see it. I don't.
Yeah, I once upon a time pitched that we do that's wrestling twice, that whole ordeal with Roman. You look back at it, it's probably a fantasy booking scenario. I mean, he wrestled how many times last year defending that title? 5, 6 times. You want him to wrestle twice on one weekend? It's like against his motto, basically. But as far as Cody and Rock, does that match have any implication on what happens on Sunday? Are we looking at a Daniel Bryan Triple H situation where he's got to beat Rock to get to Roman? Does Rock use his power now as a board member to basically say, hey, you ruined this match. You and your crybabies ruined this match. Now I'm going to use my power and I'm going to go above and beyond Triple H's power. I'm going to throw my weight around and say, you know what? You don't beat me. You don't get Roman, and the bloodline takes the night off on night two. Are they leading to something like that where Cody's got to fight his way into night two against Roman?
I mean, that's the way I would go with it. I just the Rollins inclusion is strange. Like, we're not, if it's not a tag match, Rollins wants to help fight the bloodline, cool, but Rollins is now in a program with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So unless that gets sped up and Rollins happens to lose the World Heavyweight Championship before we get to WrestleMania via Damian Priest or something to that effect, cool. But the Rollins inclusion is like the monkey wrench in all of this. Cody versus Rock makes sense. Rollins is, forcefully making his way into this storyline because of what he said about the bloodline, how he wants to be with Cody's partner and Cody's friend and ally. So that stinks, in my opinion. Not stinks in terms of storyline wise, just Seth wanting to be involved stinks. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I don't want this tag match at WrestleMania. I don't. I'd rather see Rock and Cody one-on-one.
Yeah, I would like to see that take place myself. As far as the rest of the segment, Grayson Waller, he started saying he's got another scoop, and then Austin Theory cut him off, and Austin Theory ran through Rock's catchphrases. Rollins laughed at him. They kind of beat him up at the end of all this thing. Cody gave him a Cody cutter. Seth gave him a stomp, and Waller just watched it all happen. That was a little strange to me at the end of this segment. I think highly of Austin Theory. I think you do as well. He looks fantastic. He's not bad in the ring at all. He's just got no fucking character. But man, what a it was almost like he was the tail end of a joke here. It's like they just cast him off as like the fucking comedy guy, the joke guy in this segment. It's like when are they going to start taking this guy seriously? I mean, a lot of people say he's the future of the company and yada 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 as far as Austin Theory is concerned. But my God, man. He's not even a focal point in anything going into WrestleMania. Does that feel a little off to you or no?
Yeah. Well, if you really go back and take a look at this, I said it when me and my son and my friend were watching this here this morning. I said, man, what a fall from grace. I mean, he's obviously in the mix here with two of the biggest superstars arguably in the business right now. But if you go back and look at Theory's stuff at WrestleMania 38, he had Vince McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Pat McAfee, and himself.
Yeah.
In a ring. And then the next year he took on John Cena. Who gets bigger than that?
No.
Austin,
and it was the first match we saw at WrestleMania last year, and he beat John Cena in 10 minutes.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I know, this was before all the Vince allegations came out. And when you're in the ring with Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin, you could wipe out Vince now, but you're in the ring with Steve Austin and John Cena and you're doing nothing at WrestleMania right now. Maybe you're taking on Grayson Waller. Yeah, I don't know if they've soured on Austin Theory, but yeah, I'm surprised because Theory can work, but maybe they just feel like he hasn't been able to put everything else together.
Yeah, I found that to be a little strange, and some people in the chat, he's not the future of the company. He absolutely is. He's like 25 years old. Like, what are you guys talking about? I mean,
guys,
you don't look like that and then are not the future of the company. Give me a fucking break.
And he's hysterical counting his ribs while Cody's coming out and stuff like that. And guys and girls in the chat, we know we look tired. We got up for y'all so that we could watch the show live and review it. So we know we look tired, but thank you for reminding us.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what I'm doing after this stream. I may just go right back to bed for all I know.
I have 3 football games at 6, 7, and 8 back to back to back. So I might take a nap myself.
There you go. I appreciate you guys being here. Drew, appreciate you guys being here. As far as this Cody, Rock, Roman, Seth Rollins situation, we did talk about it on Tuesday. I just want to give you guys a refresher. I don't think Seth is turning on Cody. For all the people that have mentioned that in their fantasy realm, I don't see that happening.
Explain. Stop right there. Why?
Seth turning on Cody?
Yeah, why? I mean, it fits, right?
I mean, it fits, but he's got nothing. Cody's going to beat Roman. So what does it do Seth to turn on Cody if the whole point of his promo was you got to beat Roman? Like, everybody wants him to beat Roman. So if you're going to screw him out and not beat Roman, what the fuck are you doing?
Let me break this down for you real quick. And yes, I know there's a terrible glare. I can't get up, guys. I'm sorry. We tried fixing it before. I understand.
He's getting a fucking suntan while live streaming.
Yeah, I mean, we put the shade down. It's coming from like the far end of my office. The office is long, so it is what it is.
Any more complaints in the chat, please? Right. We'll fucking make a list, okay?
Listen, here's the deal. Cody chose Roman over Seth. Strike one. Seth wanted Cody bad, okay? Here's the other thing. Cody has always beaten Seth and has always gotten the spotlight from Seth. Even when Seth was the world champion, Cody was the focal point of Monday Night Raw. Strike two. Seth Rollins has never beaten Roman Reigns. in terms of like since Roman became Roman. Okay. Heel Roman, bloodline Roman, unstoppable force Roman, head of the table Roman.
Yeah.
And now Cody's going to get that opportunity. I think we're giving Seth Rollins too much credit because Raw needs a heel bad. Drew McIntyre's great, no problem. But Raw needs a big bad heel. And Drew McIntyre's not the only heel that they need. So I think that Seth could turn on Cody eventually. Does it happen at WrestleMania? Not sure. Does it happen at Backlash? Not sure. But keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I would not mind it happening after Cody beats Roman. Because if he screws Cody before he gets to Roman, it defeats the whole purpose of everything he set up until this point. That's my point. Like he specifically said, you got to beat Roman because the WWE after WrestleMania is going to be a dark age for the WWE, and Roman's going to hold the title forever, and the bloodline's going to get bigger, and the two-headed beast of the bloodline now with The Rock there, it's going to go back and just bite them in the ass. So I don't think they could do that at WrestleMania in Philly, but I see where you're going. I wouldn't mind that if Rollins lost the championship and then wanted to just kind of come to his senses all of a sudden and say, hey, fuck this guy, you know? I like it, but
it's never been the plan, too. Seth was supposed to take on Punk. Punk was supposed to win the Elimination Chamber. So this whole Drew McIntyre thing was not the plan. The Rock and going heel was not the plan. No matter what newsletter or major figurehead wants to tell you, major media journalist, it's not. I've talked with Sean Ross Sapp. I've talked with a bunch of other people who are in the know, and we have all, JD said it too, we've all agreed that this was not a work.
No. Not a work. And people still leave me comments on all my videos. Oh, you guys got worked. No, we didn't. No, you guys got worked. Thinking that it was a work. Fucking idiots. Anyway, at the end of all this, I don't think Seth is turning on Roman initially, or Cody rather initially. I don't think Rock is turning on Roman either. That was another discussion. I don't think that's happening.
Too soon.
I think it's too soon. And Drew and I very well documented on Tuesday that Rock and Roman being together is where the money is. There's no reason to break them up now or cause dissension now when the whole plan coming out of Philly is to do this match potentially at WrestleMania 41. So why would you want to rush that and then blow through everything right away? Let it marinate a little bit. Let's get some fucking brand warfare here. Let's get bloodline growing. Maybe we get two separate bloodlines. Maybe, we get Bloodline versus Team Triple H, and he assembles a team of people that need to fight for the right of the company. I don't know. I like that aspect. That people are jumping the gun here. Yo, Rock, with all his clues on SmackDown 2 weeks ago, he's going to turn on Roman. No, he's not. That doesn't even make sense.
Guys and girls, there's a lot of meat on this bone.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to just eat? Like, I'll use chicken, for example. We'll get real in-depth here. You're just going to eat the breast and throw the rest away? Like, that's what we're doing with this Rock Roman thing? You just want to have it for a month? There's another breast on that chicken. There's 2 wings. There's 2 drummies. There's thighs. Let's eat the whole bird. Then throw out the carcass. I mean, it's early. There's a lot of meat on this bone.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the big thing coming out of the chamber. I know we didn't get answers, and I'm a very... listen, I've been more patient with this in the last week or two than most people. I've gotten a lot of hate, and I've come under fire from fucking people on social media and in the comment section. Give it time. They don't need to explain everything. They're going to get to it. There's 7 weeks left to go, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, guys, but, we're already looking at, 0 balls and 2 strikes here. Cody didn't explain why he gave his shot to The Rock in the first place. And then we didn't get Rock mentioning anything that Triple H literally said a week prior to his promo a couple of weeks back. So what are we doing? Like, we need an explanation as of Friday or Monday from Cody, something. So this is the week. If I don't get any explanations, man, I'm not really holding my breath for any explanations going into WrestleMania because it seems like they don't know where the fuck they want to go themselves.
Yeah. And I just, again, like you said, let it marinate. I just don't, like, why do we want this to implode? Like, everyone's on social media. Everyone's on this and that talking about how this heel Rock's the greatest. I love this alliance, and I love this allegiance to the bloodline, and who's the leader and who's not. There's so much to turn left and right with. 1 month, we're done. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What? No. No.
Imagine ending everything at WrestleMania. All right, guys, on to the next thing, man. The fuck are you guys doing, man?
Right. And I mean, I thought Seth would be taking time off after WrestleMania. It doesn't look like he's going to be in any position to do that because of the injuries. So that's maybe the thing that they focus in on is Seth's turn.
It's like
not
you go to
Rock.
It's like you go to Peter Luger's fucking steakhouse, man. You order a fucking beautiful meal. You take one bite of the steak. All right, I'm done, man. Where's the check?
Yeah, right. All right. This was very good. You cooked it just the way I wanted it. Now take it away.
Come on, guys. That don't make any sense whatsoever. Hopefully we get our answers from Cody on Monday, Rock on Friday. He's announced for SmackDown. And Drew and I will keep you afloat of whatever's going on via this storyline. But the road to WrestleMania is paved. It's looking like we're getting Cody versus Rock at WrestleMania because that's the only place I could see that taking place. Not at Backlash, not in Saudi. I don't know why we're building a match and making reference to a match that may happen 2 months from now. Don't make sense. Now is the time to do it, so we'll figure it out in the next 5 weeks. Elimination Chamber. We started the show off with, and like you said, they started the chamber off with the women, and Drew broke the news before the show even started that Rhea and Nia were going to close the show, which I was surprised by, but seeing the reaction that Rhea got, I wasn't surprised. But Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez opened the show, Women's Elimination Chamber match. I'll start with you, Drew. What was your biggest takeaway here? Obviously, everybody's raving about Tiffany Stratton's performance in this thing. And Becky Lynch won it. Not really a surprise to anybody, but what was your biggest takeaway?
I would say the amount of eliminations Liv Morgan got here was interesting. I would say my biggest takeaway, obviously, is what we're doing, which is Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania. Because I have a funny feeling that where we're headed is Rhea Ripley beating Becky Lynch at WrestleMania and Becky Lynch raising Rhea's hand, a full face turn for Rhea and kind of the passing of the torch. Because Becky had her moment at 35 where she was like solidified as like the person here. And Becky has a young child. Maybe she wants to be more present or kind of take the part-time schedule stuff. I don't know. Maybe she wins at WrestleMania. But the way I'm starting to see things here is Becky was the perfect person, the perfect opponent for Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania because Rhea has pretty much climbed every mountain. And now she gets to go one-on-one with the man who will bring out the absolute best in her at WrestleMania, her being Rhea Ripley. And I think we're going to see the passing of the torch in that match.
I don't see how it makes sense for Becky to beat Rhea at WrestleMania, just creatively. I mean, you gave a real-life perspective there. That could very well be the case. I just don't see it creatively how it makes sense because we've obviously gotten heel Judgment Day, and then with the whole inclusion of R-Truth, they're kind of in-betweeners now, and then R-Truth was beaten up by Judgment Day. But the one thing that I've noticed on Raw, Drew, is that Rhea Ripley has not been present with Judgment Day for the last couple of weeks, and it looks like they may be on their way to turning her into a babyface, like you mentioned. That would actually help. That would actually facilitate that if Becky does kind of endorse Rhea Ripley at the end of WrestleMania. But we went through heel Rhea this year, and I think we go through babyface Rhea in the rest of 2024, which I feel like everybody knows this is the biggest match you can do right now. I just feel like next year they're building towards Rhea and Bianca.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect way to go. I think they're looking at Rhea as like, okay, she is what Becky Lynch was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
She is top of the mountain, basically unbeatable. She's our male or female version of Roman Reigns, and let's keep her that way. I don't see Rhea losing that championship anytime soon. The way to take the championship off of Rhea, truthfully, is a cash-in when she's least expecting it, because it doesn't make her look, after she's been, a grueling match like that match with Nia Jax, that type of stuff is the way to take the championship off of Rhea and still keep her strong. But she is going to roll through WrestleMania, I believe, as your world champion. And again, the two biggest things from this was the winner, which was Becky Lynch, which I loved. And the fact of, Liv Morgan was kind of pushed to the moon here in this match. She had some heavy eliminations in terms of like who she beat.
Yeah, we'll get to that. My biggest takeaway, Liv looked good. I think that was probably the best I've seen of Liv in many months. But Tiffany Stratton, to me, was the eye-opener here. To me, no surprise. I've been high on Tiffany ever since that match with Becky at No Mercy in that street fight that they had.
Oh, I think she's winning the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, it fits her perfectly. She's got that Barbie character. She's got that just over-the-top cockiness about her. It just fits her to a T, and that's what the Money in the Bank briefcase is for, heels like that.
Yeah.
But the star-making performance that she had tonight, I said this on social media during the show after the match was over. You know, if I told you that was Tiffany Stratton's first Elimination Chamber match, you know, you'd probably be like, really? Yeah, that was her first Elimination Chamber. She was in there like she wrestled fucking 10 Elimination Chambers.
Right. And that's the biggest thing. There was two things that I saw from this. Tiffany was made before she stepped into that chamber. She was over with the crowd at the press conference. She's been over at the live events and the television shows when she was on them, SmackDown. So when she gets going, forget about it. Liv was made as a player in this one as well, which was important. This is why WWE continues to thrive, because they tell stories and build people piece by piece by piece, and they tell almost 2 to 3 stories in one. Becky and Rhea now. Rhea's big test. She's going to beat the man. You had Liv kind of reascend, and Tiffany has arrived. Think about that in one match. Now, Naomi and Bianca had a strong showing, but those two are your question marks out of this one.
Yeah. Just to give you guys an idea about what happened tonight with Tiffany Stratton, the same thing happened at Backlash last year with Io and Bianca. These international crowds, they are always crowds that go against the traditional American crowd. Bianca is over here. When Bianca wrestled Io at Backlash in Puerto Rico, Io was fucking mega over, more over than Bianca. Same thing happened here. People were more loud for Tiffany Stratton than they were for Becky Lynch in this match. And when Tiffany got eliminated by Liv Morgan, who is a babyface in her own right, the crowd booed. So, I mean, the international crowds, I mean, they love the unknown. I don't know how else to put it. They want the underdog here. They want the new up-and-comer. I think they're tired of the same old, and that's what you got with Tiffany Stratton tonight.
Well,
they were pro-Tiffany.
Let me explain something to a lot of the guys and girls here, and maybe even you. I think you do know this, but if you don't, then, you know, more information to you. This is why Vince McMahon and the old regime never came to international events, because you guys who live here and go to these events go against the grain. This is why WrestleMania, they could sell you down a freaking river about how the time change and everything else like that. That has nothing to do with it. The time difference, nothing. They don't like the uncontrollable. That's why when they would go to the Garden, it would be for a November or a Rumble. And Vince always had a soft spot for the Garden, but the Garden always cheered heels as well, for the most part. And if you're over in MSG in New York, then you were over in WWE in Vince McMahon's eyes. The reason WWE stayed away from international pay-per-views and even a WrestleMania is because it's completely unpredictable who they're going to boo and cheer for. And WWE does not like that. The old guard, the new guard doesn't care. You want to cheer them here? Go for it. Triple H is almost like when Vince McMahon had no choice in 97 but to keep going to Canada, because Brett and them were selling massive tickets and getting insane reactions. Then they were getting booed in the States. It was perfect. Triple H and the new regime, Nick Khan, is just looking to make money. Yeah, they don't care who you cheer and boo for.
That is an excellent point. And if you guys are not really familiar with what we do, that's one of the best pieces of analysis that I think we've had in 37 episodes. So that is absolutely on point fact. And I'm glad the new regime is changing that, because I mean, look at the fucking presentation of tonight's show. I mentioned in the beginning. I mean, that crowd was, I mean, I don't like the open air stadium. I think it kind of dumbs down the crowd. I thought they could have been a little bit louder because of the open air. But I mean, the whole thing, just going to a stadium like that for this type of show, I mean, that's unheard of. I don't think Vince would have ever, in his wildest dreams, thought, yeah, let me take the Elimination Chamber to Australia in front of 50,000 people.
Right. And let's think about this, too. I would say one of the most memorable moments of last year was Bad Bunny's entrance in Puerto Rico, and it was because of the crowd. The crowd makes things, it amplifies things to 20, 30, 40, 50 times what it normally would be. So Rhea Ripley was coming into this as a heel, quote unquote, a bad guy or girl. And everybody knew she wasn't going to get that type of reaction. And what WWE did was the new regime slowly went away from that. Wasn't seen with Judgment Day. Had massive reactions at the press conference. Was kind of leaning into being a good guy. It was almost like the tweener stuff. WWE is very smart. The new regime is not going to jam stuff down your throat, and they're going to allow you to cheer and boo who you want. Because at the end of the day, if you spend your money on tickets, a t-shirt, or get up at 4 a.m. like us, they're happy.
It's also the same reason why Vince basically killed the aura of the Raw after WrestleMania. He fucking hated that crowd. Absolutely hated it. You saw what he did last year with it. He blew that shit up to a point where we fucking voted that thing on cagematch.net. I don't take it as a big example, but they rated that show the lowest rated show in WWE history. That's how bad it was.
So again, JD is spot on. I have been backstage for Raws after WrestleMania, and Vince hated that crowd. Because he could not control them. There was no way to control. There was no camera cuts. There was no way to mute them without saying the crowd without being inauthentic. So there's a lot of things that Vince did not like the uncontrollable. That's why he's a billionaire. Unfortunately, he is a piece of garbage human being, it seems. So yeah, but Vince hated the uncontrollable.
Imagine just to give you guys another example. You remember when Roman beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania? That Monday Night Raw promo where he said, it's my yard now, man. It was 8 minutes of sheer hatred. I could just feel Vince seething backstage. Like, this is my babyface. Look what they're doing to him. That's why he ruined Raw after Mania. That moment right there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that. He hated beach balls, and he also...
Well, so did Cesaro.
Right. I remember one time, I don't know which Mania it was after, but like he never understood the Fandango thing from what I was told. So, and there was a Raw after Mania, I think it was Jersey, where the crowd was just doing it the whole goddamn show. So.
Ridiculous. Anyway, Tiffany Stratton was a standout here. The match started with Becky and Naomi. They had a little back and forth. Started slow, and then I'll give Liv credit. As soon as Liv and Tiffany got in there, things started to pick up to a point where I'm like, all right, now this is starting to feel like an Elimination Chamber match. Naomi and Becky started slow, kind of feeling each other out. Stratton came in number 3. Naomi came in at number 4, Liv, rather, came in at number 4. So all 4 women were in the ring there. Liv Morgan came in, and she went right after Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany beat her on Friday night, which was a taped episode of SmackDown. So... she was going right back at Tiffany and throwing her into the pods back and forth. So Liv, they got this thing about Liv Morgan where she's like unhinged or extreme. I don't really know if I buy that entire gimmick for Liv Morgan. She looks a little bit too sweet for me to be unhinged. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of things from this women's chamber match I think they did well. A couple of them I thought were missed. That was one of them. And I didn't, Naomi kind of looked, they didn't give her any sort of like moments.
No.
You just had her return. You could have, Liv Morgan doesn't need to beat 2 people. She could beat 1. That's fine. I mean, we're getting nitpicky here, but give Naomi a little bit of steam,
Yeah, she's got nothing. I don't even know what she does going into WrestleMania, but.
And Bianca's bulletproof. She's bulletproof for the most part, But Naomi's not.
No, nothing's going to happen to Bianca. But Becky Lynch took Stratton, hit an exploder into the cage, and then disarm her on Stratton, but Stratton got away. Morgan grabbed Stratton, hit a stomp. Naomi then hit a blockbuster off of the pod, one of the pods, onto Liv Morgan, which was one of the highlights of the match. Stratton then grabbed Naomi right after that and immediately pinned Naomi. So not only was that a smart move by Tiffany, showing you how smart she is as an in-ring performer, taking advantage of Naomi like that. But Naomi taking the first pinfall here, like Drew said, they don't really have anything for Naomi. She was in there to eat a pin from the most newest superstar to the roster here, Tiffany Stratton. So what does that say about Naomi? What does that say about Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah, they obviously see a lot of, and it was, don't get me wrong, it's the right call. The women worked their tails off in this one too. I thought that the match came off very well, but it seems like they have big plans for Tiff, which they should. But if I'm Naomi, I'm kind of asking like, hey, I know I just came back, happy to be here, but what's my plan for WrestleMania? Maybe it's the Women Tag Team Championships. That's cool and all, but did we really need to bring me back just to beat me like this? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to sit here and tell everybody that she'd be better off in TNA because she's not. But creatively, she was a big fish in a small pond there. Now she's back in WWE, and it seems like we're going right back to the same thing before she left WWE, and I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, and again, maybe this is something where they're like, all right, you split with your buddy, let's earn your stripes. Let's earn your way back, which she doesn't need to, but, who knows? I don't know. I just, again, I'm being very nitpicky. I thought the match was very, very good for
I thought it was better than the men's match, to be honest with you.
100%. I know a lot. We'll get into that, but yeah, I just wish that there was more of shine, if you want to, for Naomi, for me.
Raquel Rodriguez came in next. She was the oddball here. She was basically the one that stuck out to me like a sore thumb. She didn't belong there. She just came back. They just added her because of her obviously sheer size, and she's a strong woman in there. So they put her in there. And after throwing Lynch into the cage, she grabbed Stratton, threw her into the cage. Rodriguez and Morgan were going at it in the ring. Lynch clipped Rodriguez's leg, so everybody piled on Rodriguez. Bianca Belair was the final entrant in this match, and she went right after Tiffany Stratton, throwing her into the pod as she entered the ring. So Tiffany was laying in a heap there in the pod when Bianca Belair came in. Drew and I talked about this. I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, and I see some other podcasters in the community start picking up on this, especially with what I said about Tiffany and Bianca at WrestleMania. I see some other podcasters now picking up on Drew's idea because it was basically brought to the forefront on TNT of Nia and Jade at WrestleMania. If we're going to have two women's matches at WrestleMania for the championships, which are already determined, the other two women's matches, I would feel, are Tiffany, Bianca, Nia, and Jade. And those two things, Drew, we've talked about extensively on this show.
I think you're going to get, I think this might be the first WrestleMania. I'd have to go back and look, but I think you're going to get 5 women's matches spread across 2 nights.
Yeah.
I truly believe you're going to get Nia and Jade. And I think Naomi and Bianca might become allies and try and win the women's tag team championship. If not, then Bianca could easily have a singles match with Tiff, like you said. But for me, I don't do that to Tiff, and I don't do it to Bianca. I know I said Bianca's bulletproof, but Tiff just got here. To beat Bianca is like beating Charlotte Flair at your first WrestleMania. I don't know if, we need to go that far this quick.
Yeah, I don't really know how important WWE takes Bianca Belair's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. I mean, do they look at that as a big deal? I don't know.
I don't know. That I don't know.
But she went right after Tiffany Stratton, which gave me a little bit of a, all right, maybe they may do that at WrestleMania. We'll see what happens there. But I could also see Belair and Naomi teaming up against Damage Control because Belair has a history with Damage Control. Belair hit a delayed vertical suplex on Lynch, which looked great. She was doing, I don't know, she was doing squats in there or she was doing leg lifts in there with Becky on her shoulder, which looked great. She took out Stratton with a spine buster. Belair, Rodriguez, they went face-to-face. They ended up on the outside where Rodriguez went for a vertical suplex, but Bianca springboarded off the cage and momentum took her into a DDT, which was one of the best spots of the entire match. Stratton then lifted Rodriguez on the turnbuckle. Morgan jumped off the top of the pod, stomping Rodriguez. Stratton then threw Lynch off the pod where they were fighting and then hit a big swanton, did Tiffany, off the top of the pod onto everybody else, wiping everybody out. Crowd went crazy for that. Becky Lynch back in the ring, hit a disarm her, and then transitioned into an armbar on Rodriguez. Rodriguez then countered that into her finish, the powerbomb, and then managed to hit both Lynch and Belair. Belair came back, hit a KOD on Rodriguez eventually, got her out of the match. So it's Lynch, Belair, and Morgan, the final 3 in this thing here. Belair press slam Lynch on Morgan, hit a springboard standing moonsault. Belair went for the KOD on Lynch. Lynch escaped. Liv, she eliminated, I don't know if I mentioned this, she eliminated Tiffany. So crowd booed. So goodbye.
And here's the thing, right? For all of you, because I remember I watched a little bit of JD's, I think it was Raw or SmackDown review, or maybe it was a short, where you're all complaining about why isn't Jade in this chamber. Jade is basically in the Tiff spot, in my opinion. Or the Naomi spot. Yeah. She gets beat. What does that do for Jade? Stock plummets. We're sitting here talking about how Naomi had next to nothing in this match show-wise, and she should have, and that could have been Jade. So, and we're supposed to be building Jade as like this unstoppable force.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to ruin that equity there right away. She hasn't even had a singles match. Like, why would you want to beat her in a match with all these other women? The only way out is a pinfall. No matter how you look at it, even if you went the AJ Styles route with what he did tonight against LA Knight, you'd still have to get pinned. It doesn't matter. Why do you want to get a loss on her record right away? But she did, Liv did pin Tiffany. At this point, with the performance that they gave Tiffany and then being pinned by Liv Morgan, I don't even think it does anything to Tiffany, to be quite honest with you, because everybody's still talking about Tiffany after the show's over. No,
and that's the thing. Tiffany was trending and being talked about before she even got onto the PLE, before she came out. So, they got plans for Tiff. I've said it. You saw it, off topic, but they have huge plans for Braun Breaker. Just watch. Braun Breaker is going to be a massive focal point on SmackDown, or if he gets drafted to Raw in the next coming months if they do the draft. So they got big plans for Tiff. Jay did not need to be in this chamber match. Tiff shined, Liv shined, and Becky won.
So Belair and Lynch, they're on the top rope. Morgan hit a sunset flip bomb on Belair, which looked great. Then hit a superplex on Lynch. Belair then attempted a 450. She undershot it, but Becky got the knees up. Belair then attempted a KOD. Morgan hit a jawbreaker. Belair comes back, attempted to hit Lynch with the KOD. Lynch managed to get to her feet. Morgan suddenly rolled up Belair and pinned her. And like you said, Drew, they gave Liv some massive eliminations in this thing. Pinning Tiffany, pinning Bianca. And I think they wanted to maintain her looking strong, you know, because she doesn't really have a prime spot at WrestleMania, and I don't really know what she does going into this thing. But giving her a win over Bianca, I mean, that's like bigger than a WrestleMania match in itself.
Right. And, you know, they could sell this as Bianca was beat down from some of the stuff that she was taking from other stars and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, Liv got the 1, 2, 3, albeit in a 6-man or 6-woman chamber match, but Liv pinned Bianca. Something to watch.
Yeah, so right after that, after pinning Bianca, she walked right into a manhandle slam, and Becky won the match. So it's Becky versus Rhea. Rhea beat Nia. We'll get into that a little bit later. So that's the women's match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then we got Io and Bayley happening at WrestleMania. And again, Drew, you mentioned that you think Bianca and Naomi are going for the tag team titles. And what is Tiffany doing at WrestleMania? Nothing?
No, I think Tiffany will have an opponent. It'll be interesting to see which, you know, superstar that's against, but I think it's somebody who Tiff could beat, you know.
Maybe Liv Morgan in one of those Extreme Rules matches, possibly.
Well, something, but they gave Liv a lot of equity. They gave Liv a lot of, high profile wins in this. So they built her up. Could Tiffany be the one to knock her down? Because realistically at WrestleMania, they could do that feud, and, you know, Liv doesn't really lose much, and Tiffany has a ton to gain. We need to stop trying to book our favorites against our favorites, because realistically, wins and losses, for the most part, do not matter. It's how we get there. And with Tiffany right now, did not have a great showing in the chamber. She's super over, but she needs a big win at WrestleMania. So that's when things matter, because you want to stamp her arrival. And Naomi, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Bianca has never won the women's tag team championships, correct?
No.
So, and I think that would be the only thing she needs. Realistically, she's won both heavyweight championships, and then she'd win the women's world championship. And was she an NXT champion?
She was.
Okay, so there you go. I believe
she was. I'm sure the chat will correct me. But I could see that, especially the main roster stuff. Yeah, they could definitely lean into that for sure. As far as some of the people in the chat, tired of Becky. People have tired of Becky. Listen, I'm tired of Becky too. WWE's got this fucking disease where they feel like they develop anxiety when they can't book Charlotte and Becky in their championship matches. They need to be featured in major programs for a title all the time. But WWE is slowly changing that, because we got Tiffany now. Bianca's taking a backseat. Becky, in my honest opinion, Becky has done more in ring and much better at what she's done in ring than I think any time in her career. She did hold the NXT title, didn't need to be. She set up Lyra Valkyria for an NXT title run down there. She got them a TV deal. The whole reason why Becky moved down there was to just facilitate the TV deal for NXT to CW. So it's not like she didn't help the brand, but
and to elevate talent.
Yeah, and to elevate talent. I mean, she elevated Tiffany, I would say.
Yeah, this is the biggest thing, JD, to everyone. You know, you're sick of her, or some other people are sick of her. That's fine. She reminds me of a lot of John Cena, when John Cena was just on top and he had beaten everybody, and they were just like, oh, John, go away. We're done with you. Then John went away, put over a bunch of talent, mind you, to help build and bridge the gap for years to come, because that's what you do in this business. And then John goes away and everyone's like, oh, man, I miss Cena. Don't wish these guys and girls away, because once they're gone, they're gone. And Becky has charisma and personality by the truckload, and she will be fine either in movies or television, wherever she wants to do, but she's helped bridging that gap and putting over young talent. So I understand where everyone's at. Did Becky need this win at the chamber? No. Was it the absolute right call? Yes, because she has a ton of equity, and she's going to give that to Rhea at WrestleMania.
Yes, guys, you got to also understand, too, just by process of elimination, Liv's not going. It's not a WrestleMania match, especially with the injury to Punk and losing Lesnar. I mean, they got to give you major matches. This is the biggest match they could do. Liv's not it. Bianca's been there. Tiffany's way too young. She's had 3 matches on the main roster. She will get there. Naomi just got back here. They're not going to do that. You know, what do you guys want? It's not going to be Raquel. Becky was the only clear-cut winner here. And if there wasn't anybody, it was going to be Bianca, and you would have complained if Bianca won it anyway.
Right, and that's the biggest thing here, right? If Bianca and Rhea is the major, like the major match, you can't keep giving us, which we all want, but you can't keep giving us all of these major matches or quote unquote dream matches, final boss matches, whatever analogy you want to use, within a 3 or 4 month span, because then they have nothing left. They have to write television, and the Rhea Bianca match is tailor fitted for either SummerSlam or Mania next year. Let Rhea climb Mount Becky, and she's going to do that. It's important for the wrestling business. They have to continue to build new stars. Becky is at the absolute peak. So now Becky needs to do right by WWE and do right by their next star that they see down the pipeline, which is Rhea. And Rhea hopefully will be able to do this for Tiffany in 2 years.
Yes. So there you go, guys. Hopefully that explains it. But Becky's going to WrestleMania. She's got that match with Rhea Ripley. They could realistically, if they wanted to, main event night 1. But we'll see. If Cody wrestles Rock, I don't see that being a thing. But if not, they have a chance. So we'll see what happens.
If Rock's wrestling, nobody's main event.
No,
Okay, it's just the Rock.
Absolutely not. He already gave up his fucking match with Roman. Now you want to give up a main event night with Cody? Get out of here. Anyway, tag team title match. We got Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. The New Catch Republic is their new name, against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. This was a great match. I love what these guys did here. Predictable, but great match. I said this last night, Drew. I think we all kind of understood where this was going. Judgment Day was not losing the tag team titles here. But there's 2 aspects here. You and I have been pushing this match, and I think it's going to happen because it's the only thing that makes sense. This will lead to R-Truth and The Miz getting their championship match, and you put it perfectly on Tuesday. R-Truth overcoming his bullies. It's exactly what's going to happen. Do you see the tag team division here kind of changing over into a new direction here? Are we I know you said it on the show as well that they already have new belts made. After this, are we going to get some solid idea about where we're going with the tag team division? Because obviously with this inclusion here with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, WWE's got some great fucking tag teams. I don't know if they have enough to do 2 titles, but one set of titles spread across both shows. I mean, the tag team division is looking the strongest it's been in years.
They do have new titles ready to go, whether it's championships, whether or not they decide to use them is up to them. Whether or not it's, I can't confirm or deny if the titles are like brand specific. I would believe they are, but I don't know. I don't know that for a fact. I just know that new tag team championships have been made, and they've been made for some time now. But WWE has slowly but surely been building some equity in the tag team division. I thought the DIY would climb the mountaintop at WrestleMania, but they have decided to go with the whole R-Truth and The Miz probably overcoming his bullies, the Judgment Day, and taking those tag team championships off of Finn and Priest, which is desperately needed for the both of them. They have done all they can do for these titles and have elevated them just where the Usos left off. KO and Sami Zayn picked up, and now the Judgment Day picked right back up as well. So kudos for them. They've made these tag team championships important, which they should, and they continue to be so. DIY is the perfect team to win it. I think they win the tag team championships the night after WrestleMania. I think R-Truth holds the title for 24 hours, overcomes his bullies, comes out, gets a big celebration with Miz, and DIY beats them. That's just how R-Truth's gimmick and his whole character works. And then we can go off to the races with DIY as your tag team champions.
Yeah, it's all about the moment for R-Truth. Him winning the title in front of 60,000 people, pinning Priest, I think is one of the best moments of the entire weekend, honestly, if it does happen.
Yeah, but Dunne and Bate had a fantastic showing today.
Yes.
And, Finn's thumb looked gnarly. He was trying to get it, fixed. I don't know if it was his finger or his thumb, maybe his index finger. I don't remember which one it was, but man, he looked like
I don't even remember what spot it came on.
It was the coup de grace, I believe. And I'm wondering if maybe he completely fractured his finger, which, is not that big of an injury. I'm just saying, for a wrestler, they could tape it, work through it, all that other stuff. But if it was a dislocation, he could snap back into place, but it looked gnarly. But again, Judgment Day shined here, and Dunne and Bate looked fantastic.
Yeah, they look great. R-Truth was not in the building today. He did post something on social media yesterday where he went to Austria and not Australia. So clearly he's playing up his character. He was in Australia, but
yeah. And JD, to your point, you can name 3 or 4 tag teams right now that WWE has built. So they're really putting some steam into that division. You got DIY, you got what do they call them? Bate and Dunne?
Yeah, New Catch Republic.
Imperium.
New Day is coming along. You know?
When the what are the Viking Raiders when they get back?
They got AOP, they got the Street Profits.
Right.
I mean, they got several teams. Alpha Academy, if you want to do them. Yeah, they got several teams. I know I'm missing a few. LWO, you got Legado.
Pretty deadly.
I mean, they got tag teams. I don't know if it's good enough for 2 titles, but we'll see. Tag team division right now. Vince hated tag team wrestling. Triple H loves tag team wrestling, so you see the whole night and day difference between administrations. But this was a great match. I won't go into too much of it. Bate was being beaten down by Judgment Day. Pete Dunne makes the hot tag, and he's in there. He's running wild on everybody. So Balor is in the ring. He hits a sling blade on Dunne, connects with a shotgun dropkick. Balor and Dunne recover, hit a double Tyler driver, but Priest dragged Balor out of the ring before the 3 count there. Dunne went to springboard out of the ring, but was taken out by Priest. Bate took out Priest, but in the ring countered and hit a DDT on Tyler Bate. Back in the ring, Priest and Balor went for a Razor's Edge coup de grace combination, but Bate escaped and threw Priest into Balor. It looked kind of sloppy, probably the only sloppy part of the match. So then we got Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne here hitting a burning hammer, double team burning hammer on Damian Priest. He kicked out. And then we got New Catch Republic going for a double team move off the top. A Balor grabbed Priest's foot, preventing him from falling to the ground. Priest chokeslammed both men off the top rope, tagged in Balor, who hit the coup de grace on Pete Dunne for the win. And they retained the tag team titles. Dominic Mysterio was out there. He got legit heat. Nothing piped in. 60,000 or 52,000 people was the paid attendance that Triple H announced. They rained booze down upon him. I couldn't even fucking hear what he said. So they were not piped in tonight. I would tell you otherwise.
Yeah, and it seemed like a lot of the Dominic Mysterio stuff was kind of I don't think they went away from the plan. Truthfully, I know all the stuff with Lesnar, but it just seemed like there was a lot of emphasis on Dom in this match.
Yeah,
a lot.
I don't know what he does he probably does nothing at WrestleMania. Does he get a WrestleMania match?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what he would do. Truthfully, I mean, you want to get some real heat on that kid, have him, and he already has it. You could have him beat Gunther.
Nah.
I mean, I don't. He doesn't need the equity, but, I'm just saying. I really don't know what Dom does. I don't know what Solo does. I don't know if either of them need to do anything at WrestleMania. We'll see. Anyway,
we got the Grayson Waller effect, which you already talked about in the beginning of the show. We went over that extensively. So if you guys are looking for your opinion, or our opinion, rather, on that, and you're just joining the stream, we talked about it literally at the top. It was the biggest thing, in our opinion, that happened tonight. Cody challenging Rock at any time, any place, WrestleMania. So that is that. If you guys want to go,
I just have a quick question on that for you, real quick, because was Rock not showing up or Roman not showing up during this segment a disappointment for you?
It wasn't really a disappointment because I kind of expected with those two guys. It was more of
because I was flooded with text messages. Like I woke up and then we got no Rock, no Roman. I was like, first of all, I didn't tell you to wake up, okay? But I'm just saying.
Well, am I surprised with the sheer amount of people that were attending this show and they not show up? Yeah. In that aspect, and I also thought that maybe Triple H was kind of dumb down the rumors, and I thought that maybe they play into the storyline. Oh, they're not showing up. I don't want to disappoint you that this guy's not showing up, so I'm just going to come out and say he's not showing up, and then he'd show up anyway. But after what we got tonight, it's almost like he wasn't even needed because we didn't get any explanation.
No, and I mean, would this, everyone's said the show was mid, blah, 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 blah. And I agree. The show wasn't like, what we were used to with WWE PLEs. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just kind of in the middle. And we haven't had one of those in a long time. I think maybe Payback. But if The Rock and Roman show up on the show, I think everyone's talking about how great this show is, truthfully.
Yeah.
And that's the impact they have.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%. So if you guys want to get our opinion on that happened in the beginning of the stream. And I do want to shout out, we got a $100 super chat from Phantom67. Thank you, brother. Was the show worth me getting up at 2 a.m. for? No. Only reason I did is so I could watch JD and Drew live this morning. That's all that matters, brother. Thank you so very much for being here. I know it's early for a lot of people, but we're struggling through this, man, and hopefully you're enjoying the stream.
Thank you for the $100 bomb. And yes, we appreciate you being here. Was the show worth me getting up at 3:45 for and taking a cold plunge then? No, it was not.
Men's Chamber. We got Drew McIntyre. DM Hunk against Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, and Kevin Owens. This was the men's chamber match. Winner of this goes on to wrestle Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I do choose the women's match over the men's. I thought the women's match was better than the men's. Not to say that the men's was bad. I just thought the women did more as far as the Elimination Chamber gimmick is concerned. I would have liked to see more from the men, but the outcomes were where they needed to be, in my honest opinion. I know, Drew, you went with Randy, and it did come down to Randy and Drew McIntyre at the end of the match. Are you surprised with the outcome that we got?
I was a little bit. I think Drew is very predictable. This also leaves you to believe that Seth is not going to be working double duty because Drew McIntyre is getting a big time feud and push into WrestleMania. So you would figure that Seth's opponent, if not Randy, was going to be Drew. So I get that. I was surprised. I think, people would tell you got work. Listen, we'll never know if Randy's back was really, really hurt or he tweaked it or anything because Randy's a constant professional and will finish the match and do whatever he needs to do to finish it. He's also not going to go on social media until way after the fact or anywhere else and be like, yeah, really screwed up my back. He's going to try and get through WrestleMania season even if he tweaked it. We'll never know. And they're going to tell you he's fine. But yeah, I was a little surprised. I think the Drew McIntyre stuff is, again, very predictable. And if Cody is going to win the World Championship or the Universal Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, Raw is going to need some stars, and they are going to be missing some when Cody heads to SmackDown. So yes, I was surprised here.
Yeah, it also plays into the fact of when Triple H does a draft. I know he's always wanted to do a draft. I'd seemingly think that the draft would be perfect after WrestleMania, on that Raw after WrestleMania, or a few weeks after WrestleMania. I know the last time he did it, it was around that point, because if they wanted to build brand warfare, Triple H was always in favor of doing it sooner before Survivor Series, so you have that whole year to build if you wanted to do Raw versus SmackDown, and that was the gimmick for Survivor Series for all those years before War Games. Vince would always do it like in October, and then it's like, bro, what type of brand warfare do you have with 1 month of build after a fucking draft? It didn't make any sense. So I do see us getting a potential brand draft happening maybe in April, early May. Have you heard anything about that or no?
I think it depends on the television partners. I know Netflix is going to want some exclusive stuff. USA, NBC Universal is going to get not only SmackDown, but they're going to get some Saturday Night Main Events or some special shows.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they want their own champions and stuff leading them into their television deals, their media rights deals. So I do believe a draft is coming, but I haven't heard a date. Normally, if they're smart, they'll do it either right after Money in the Bank or a couple weeks before it.
Now, we were looking forward to how WrestleMania was going to be built up in this match. We got more answers out of the men's compared to the women's. I think we kind of have a clearer picture as to where WrestleMania is headed coming out of the men's match. It started off with LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. We had 20 minutes of intros here. LA Knight and Drew McIntyre started things off. They were actually the main event of SmackDown on Friday, which went to a no contest, which was smart. McIntyre starts off with LA Knight, and it looked like, I don't know what I was watching. I like the sports presentation that WWE's done, but this match was sponsored by Slim Jim, and I got confused as to the countdown timer because, in the place of the number 1, WWE or Slim Jim put a Slim Jim as the 1. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? It's like, I thought the crowd was off. I thought the crowd didn't know how to count. They had the countdown timer all fucked up.
Yeah, why did you go from 15?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
I've never seen that. Like when I caught it like midway through the women, I was like 11. I was like, why 11?
I thought it was 1 because I didn't realize the Slim Jim was actually an 11. They gave you a Slim Jim as the number 1, so it was counting down. I don't know. It got botched. But after that, between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight, we had Bobby Lashley come out. Now, Bobby Lashley was in an angle himself on Friday night. He was injured, quote unquote, kayfabe, in an angle with the Final Testament. Karrion Kross hit a steel chair, or took a steel chair and hit Bobby Lashley's arm over the steel post. And I said this last night, this was probably going to come into effect because of the injury, which is going to cause his elimination. And he was kind of teasing Drew McIntyre through most of SmackDown last night when they had some backstage interactions. And that's exactly what happened here. So are you surprised with Bobby Lashley selling the injury and then getting eliminated rather quickly here, Drew.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's selling the injury. Again, it looked like he was okay, but there was a lot of referees around him. I was surprised at how Bobby was eliminated. I was surprised on a lot of things here, which we'll get into. I was surprised with AJ Styles' involvement. I was surprised with Logan Paul and KO, how much they played up on that. There was a lot of things that I was surprised in the men's chamber, especially the winner.
Owens, I actually had it mixed up. Owens came in first and then Lashley. Owens comes in, hits a frog splash on McIntyre, goes for a near fall. There was a nice little commentary statement by either Michael Cole or Corey Graves where Kevin Owens did a Make-A-Wish in Australia, and he promised the Make-A-Wish that he was going to do a choke slam. And he delivered a choke slam, which he never usually does, and he fulfilled his Make-A-Wish there by doing the choke slam. So that was right up everybody's alley there. Bobby Lashley comes in next. He fought off Drew McIntyre, and he suplexed him outside the ring. He attempted to put McIntyre in the hurt lock, but sent McIntyre over the top rope. He then hits a headbutt, does Drew. Lashley escaped and laid out McIntyre with a chokeslam for a near fall. Orton entered the match and immediately went after Kevin Owens. So that could be telling there as far as what happens with Orton and Kevin Owens going into WrestleMania. He connected with a draping DDT onto the chamber floor, and this is where people thought Randy Orton got injured, and from this point on, he was selling the back throughout the match. It's also something that I want you guys to understand, that WWE changed the way the chamber aesthetics are. You know, back in the day, it was a little bit more demonic. It was a little bit more unforgiving. WWE over the years have added padding to the outside to limit breaking the wrestlers' bodies. And with Randy Orton doing this draping DDT onto the outside, you know, in the old days, he would have been fucking finished right there. But with the padding, you know, he still did the DDT. It looks a little safer, but man, that shit still had to suck. And I think from that point on, Drew, I think a lot of people are pointing that out as the spot that Randy Orton might have injured himself. But you said, we don't know if he's injured. He's a consummate professional. If he was injured, he's going to finish the match. Or he's just a 20-plus year vet who's fucking excellent at his job.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling my buddy and my son who was here, I was saying when I went to the first Elimination Chamber ever at Madison Square Garden, they had steel grates for floors. It wasn't this like thick padding. And no, guys, I was trying to fix the sunlight. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe the bay window, but it's just not working. So sorry for my pause. But no, it's just it's insane how much protection they have given these guys and girls now, which is smart. You want to extend the longevity of their career. But I remember watching that chamber at the Garden and thinking to myself, and the thud that when they would hit those grates, I was like, holy moly, this is barbaric.
Yeah.
And even the plexiglass, they've kind of got away from that. But yeah, no, I don't know if Randy was selling or not, but it seemed like when he tweaks something, and it could be a great sell job, but they are taking the proper precautions with these men and women now.
Yeah, I think Randy Orton was kayfabing us all. I don't think he's really hurt, but it did add some extra intrigue, and we got everybody talking about Randy Orton, so job done there. So when it comes to the DDT, Knight hit his own DDT to follow on McIntyre, and then in comes Logan Paul. And Owens went right after Logan Paul. As soon as the pod opened, he was standing right in front of Logan Paul's pod. Owens threw Paul into the other pod that was adjacent to his pod, crotched him against one of the pods. Logan Paul eventually mounted a comeback here. Owens fought him off. Lashley then speared Logan Paul through one of the pods. Reminded me of Mr. Bill Goldberg doing that to, who did he do that to? Chris Jericho?
Chris Jericho, SummerSlam 2004.
Nice. Lashley then started to sell his injured elbow. This allowed McIntyre to the Claymore. Lashley recovered in the ring, but he was fighting Knight off, and he took another Claymore there from McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley was the first to be eliminated. So the injury on SmackDown played a factor into Bobby Lashley being eliminated, like I called last night on my SmackDown post. So LA Knight and McIntyre go right back at it. Knight hit his superplex on McIntyre, which is always impressive, especially in a guy like McIntyre. Orton went after LA Knight, tried for the RKO, but Knight reversed it and hit the BFT on both Orton and McIntyre. Lashley was being helped out of the ring. All of a sudden, we get AJ Styles entering the ring and beats the shit out of LA Knight with a steel chair. and then gave him a Styles Clash on the steel chair. This allowed McIntyre to pin LA Knight, and I'll stop right there. So
I hated
it. So it's unbelievable to me how AJ Styles, not on the show, flies to Australia, has nothing to do with this show, took a 20-hour flight over to Australia just to beat the shit out of LA Knight when he could have done that before this show and saved himself a whole lot of time.
Yeah, again, and thanks for the chat. It was 2003. Thank you, not 04. You're right. Randy Orton won the world championship. I think
you can't get you can't get anything by these guys.
It's all right. I mean, I got so much shit for saying that Randy looked legitimately hurt, and they're all like, "You're getting worked. It's still real to you, damn it." Okay, no, I mean, listen. I'm just saying, Randy labored a lot. Could he be working the hell out of me? Sure, but no. I hated the Styles Knight thing. Absolutely hated it. And I'm not one to use that word a lot, but I'm going to use it 4 times here. I absolutely hated it. AJ Styles versus LA Knight does nothing for me. I want more for Styles. I want more for LA Knight. And I really wish they would have went with something else for LA Knight, whether it's the Intercontinental Championship or the US Championship. I'm okay that they didn't use what I had said, that it's not Logan Paul versus LA Knight, because, you can't get mad if things don't go the way you predicted or the way you want. I don't mind it, but Styles and Knight, I understand they have a little bit of history dating back from whether it's Money in the Bank or wherever in, Hackensack, New Jersey at some friggin' house show. I don't care. Realistically, what have you been telling me recently? And what you've been telling me recently is that Knight's a player and Styles is kind of going back to his lone wolf stuff. And now these two are going to meet at WrestleMania for what?
There's nothing on the line. It means nothing. It's just a grudge match, a grudge feud.
You want to put all these men in like some sort of ladder match?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Great. Go for it. Throw Solo in there too. I don't care. But realistically, I don't want to see LA Knight and Styles go one-on-one, even though it'd be a great match. Again, wrestling for me is a lot more than just bell to bell. Who's the best?
Yeah. It's like Jacob Donnelly in the chat says, basically a SmackDown match, an undercard match on SmackDown.
Yeah. It's a SmackDown match. And to your point, I mean, shit. Somebody wants to pay me all that money to fly 20 hours private. I'll do it. Or in first class on a Delta or wherever they took. Sure, do it. I mean, I work for y'all. Go ahead. But realistically, they could have done this on SmackDown and took LA Knight out of the chamber if they needed to.
Yes. So he gets pinned by Drew McIntyre. LA Knight's gone. Everybody's saying after that, well, maybe it's LA Knight, AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Sure, it's a possibility. I don't find that to be a WrestleMania match. I don't think that's the best use of LA Knight at WrestleMania. But we'll get to that in a little bit because we got Owens and Logan Paul. They're still fighting. Owens laid out Logan Paul, hit cannonballs on both Orton and McIntyre after taking out Logan. Owens hit his swanton on Randy Orton for a near fall. Owens went for another on McIntyre. McIntyre got the knees up. He went for a Claymore, but Owens countered with a pop-up powerbomb, then hit a stunner on Logan Paul and ended up taking an RKO from Orton. So they did kind of protect Logan Paul from getting eliminated here. He took a little bit of a beating. And nobody kicks out of the RKO. So Logan Paul, as the United States champion, he wasn't winning this thing, even though it was an interesting possibility. He loses. He takes a pinfall. No harm, no foul. He's not harmed in this way at all.
No, and it really set up Logan Paul and Randy. The way that Randy, gets knocked out by Logan Paul. Randy remains strong because, like you said, Drew was not going to kick out of that. RKO, or anybody else was not going to kick out of the RKO as soon as he hit it. Like the match was his until Logan Paul decided to use the brass knucks, which is fine. I don't mind it at all. I didn't mind the finish. It was kind of unpredictable. But again, Drew winning was predictable. Even Randy winning at that point was kind of predictable, but they told a lot of stories in that chamber match. They did. Some I'm for and some I don't care for.
Yeah, the pod was still open for several minutes after Logan Paul got RKO'd and eliminated, and they tried to shoot away from it. They didn't want to show that side of the cage. I saw his leg at some point. The cage was still open. He was still laying there. I guess he tried to sell the effects of his elimination.
When did he draw on the chamber, like the plexiglass, JD? I missed that. When did he do that?
He did it when Kevin Owens. Actually, no. I think he did it when Drew McIntyre was making his entrance. He drew a heart on there. He drew something else in regards to Kevin Owens as well because they all kind of trolled each other.
Kevin Owens fat. Yeah.
Yeah. He drew a heart when Drew McIntyre was standing on the turnbuckle right in front of his pod, and then McIntyre lifted up his kilt to show him his penis or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but
they didn't show that on TV, but that's what he did. He lifted up his kilt.
they cut out a lot of things they were not letting the crowd say some things that they were trying to say. They also, Bobby let one slip and said the F word, and they tried to bleep it, but missed it. That crowd was hot, and the ring was very well mic'd. I mean, you could hear everything.
Yeah, but like I said, they shot Logan Paul's foot. The cage was still open, so I'm like, why is he not out of the cage yet? So I'm wondering if someone was going to come in. I mean, they literally played it up, especially with Orton, the way they shot this thing, that somebody was going to come in and interfere, maybe who was going to start something with Randy Orton going into WrestleMania. It ended up being Logan Paul, which we'll get into here. So he's eliminated. Orton's still selling his back. Him and McIntyre are going at it. Logan Paul recovered. And he pulls out brass knuckles, which was the whole reason for his elimination. He took too long. He ended up knocking Randy Orton out, and that was it. Orton was eliminated by that point, and McIntyre goes on to win the match. And thanks to Logan Paul. Logan Paul takes the brass knuckles, hits Randy Orton. Everybody's like, oh, well, maybe it's not LA Knight and Logan Paul at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. Now it's Logan Paul and Randy Orton, which I could see because it just fits the MO of Logan Paul being a megastar, social media star. Randy Orton's a big-time match. But I think...
But don't forget KO. Like, KO's not done with him either.
No, he's not done with him either. This is where the idea of a multi-man match comes into play, because I would much rather see a multi-man match than these fucking singles nothing matches between LA Knight and AJ Styles. Get LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul in a 5-man ladder match and just call it a day.
Yeah, you could do a fatal 4-way too. You could eliminate one of those guys. You could do KO, Logan, Randy, and I guess you could throw somebody else in there, because it seems like LA Knight and Styles have like unfinished business with each other. It was very interesting that Randy got included now into the Logan Paul KO stuff, because realistically they pushed away from anything doing LA Knight KO or LA Knight and Logan Paul, and they really pushed into LA Knight and AJ Styles. So I could see a triple threat, and I could see Styles and LA Knight doing a one-on-one. It's a miss for me in terms of the Styles and the LA Knight stuff, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so McIntyre, after he saw Orton knocked out, struggling to get to his feet, Orton suddenly dropped McIntyre with an RKO. However, Logan Paul was still in the ring, like I said, knocked out Orton with the brass knuckles. This allowed McIntyre to get the cover for the win. McIntyre got the huge treatment with fucking fireworks going off everywhere around the arena and in Perth. A lot of people, Drew, were speculating that him winning that match and getting that type of celebration at the end of the match, a lot of people were speculating that he might have quietly re-signed with the company.
Here we go again with this.
Do you tend to think along those lines, or are you calling bullshit on that?
All right, listen. Here's the deal. Drew McIntyre would be stupid not to listen to what AEW at least has to offer. WWE, I mean, unless they're like, hey, if you don't sign this, we're not going to give you the world heavyweight opportunity at WrestleMania. I don't know, but for him not to hear AEW's offer would be dumb, in my opinion.
Really? I don't know. I don't think him going there is going to make a lick of a difference.
Well, I don't think it's to make a difference, but you got to try and see what they have to offer.
Yeah, maybe uses them as leverage. Who knows? But
I don't know if they'll get leverage, but I mean, you want to tell me what you want to offer me. What's the offer here? Because you can't do that while you're under contract, quote unquote. So he could see what they're thinking, but put pen to paper.
It's going to be interesting to see where he fits onto the WrestleMania card as far as creative. Obviously, he's got Seth Rollins now for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think WWE is going to give him a championship if he's not signed a new contract. Like Drew said, and we talked about on TNT. Drew could get this match, and it might not even factor into Drew McIntyre even being a champion. It might not even matter because we got that Money in the Bank briefcase still looming. Damian Priest is a huge possibility to cash in at WrestleMania. He may fuck over both Rollins and McIntyre, and we might not even be here talking about Drew McIntyre.
And again, think about this visual for a second. Drew McIntyre finally wins that World Heavyweight Championship that he's been saying he needs to, he wants to, he's got to climb that mountain, gets it done. Bang, Damian Priest cashes in, wins the contract. And then everyone would still be like, well, they won the championship, so Drew's going to, he had to have re-signed. Nah, you got a little taste of that top, and we took it away from you until you re-sign. I mean, that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that happening. But, guys, we will, any news on McIntyre re-signing or not, we will have for you. I don't think this really makes a lick of a difference at all. But it is a big match. I'm excited to see him and Rollins. I thought they had a great match the last time they wrestled, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. But his character work has been on point. He certainly deserves it. They're moving Randy Orton on to something else. He was also a possibility there, like Drew said. Cody moving over to SmackDown by beating Roman. They're going to leave a huge hole over on Monday Night Raw as far as star power with Punk being out. So, I mean, they obviously got a plan. We don't really understand it yet, but hopefully we'll have a little bit more clarity in 5 weeks.
Yeah, and speaking of clarity, I want to clear some things up here, okay, that need to be cleared. I don't find it funny. I don't think it's cool. I think it's ridiculous that you got people out here gatekeeping or calling people marks or idiots or deemed unfit for society because they woke up to watch a wrestling show or a sports entertainment show at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Why is that something that people should be doing? People are trying to have fun. They're trying to enjoy themselves. We covered the show, so I needed to be up. That doesn't excuse it. I probably would have gotten up anyway because my son wanted to get up. But realistically, why do you care?
Who
Why
said that? People in the chat?
There's no. There's so many people on social media I saw being like, I can't believe people would get up to watch wrestling at 5 o'clock in the morning. These are probably the same jabronis that lined up to get GameCube so many years ago when it first went on sale at Best Buy or something else like that, or the first in line or first in a queue for sneakers. It's what you prefer. It's your forte. It's what you like. No, don't allow anybody. I'm not saying anybody in the chat said this. I'm saying don't allow anybody to discourage you from what you want to do or how you want to do it. It's your life. Live it the way you want and to the fullest. Fuck everybody else.
Man, you know how many times I stayed up late to go to midnight releases for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Call of Duty. I was there with the GameCube. I was there with the Switch. I've done it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't understand how this is the cool kids club now because I woke up at 8 instead of 5. Man, go stack marbles on the freeway. Who cares? People are allowed to enjoy what they want to enjoy. Stop gatekeeping everything. Just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it, so be it. I have so many friends who like anime or Marvel. I've never seen a Marvel movie besides Spider-Man. That's the honest to God truth. But I don't crap on these people when they're first in line at the movie theater or they're first in line for releases or anything like that. And I have extremely thick skin. I don't care. You could say what you want about me, whatever else, blah, 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 blah. I won't tell you what bothers me because then I'll get people in the chat that'll say it. But realistically, don't let these people change who you are. Go be you always. And scream it from the rooftops about how you woke up at 3 o'clock to watch wrestling if it's what you enjoy. Don't let people discourage you from being you.
If I didn't have this show today and this wasn't planned, I would not be here watching this show at 4 o'clock in the morning. The reason why I'm here is because we got 3,000 people in here. We're almost double the next fucking creator in the space here. Who gives a shit? Like I love what I do. The fans obviously here love what we do. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. It's not, and again, like it doesn't, whether or not I was watching this show because I had to do a review show with you or not, if you wanted to get up and do it and have a moment with your friends, your family, or yourself, if it's something you enjoy, who cares? Go enjoy it. Like nobody cares. This isn't the cool kids club. Okay, look at this. Mark got up at 6 and 5. Who cares, man? Realistically, you watched it and digested it anyway. Who cares? Stop being tough. Let people love what they love. That's it.
Yeah, social media is just cancer. Anyway, final match of the night here. Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax were given a main event treatment. Rhea Ripley defended that Women's World Championship in her homeland against Nia Jax. A lot of people, Drew, were saying this was Nia Jax's best match to date. I don't know if I agree with that statement. I'm going to take the Becky Lynch Nia Jax match on Monday Night Raw a little bit more than this one tonight. Not to say that this was bad. I think the Becky match was better. I thought this was a good main event for what it was. I don't see this happening every month with these two, but it fit the bill here because Rhea, obviously, Australia goes hand in hand.
I'll be honest with you. I think this was Nia's. Here's the deal. This was Nia's best showing, in my opinion, that I could really remember off the top of my head. Rhea sold her ovaries off. Nia looked dominant. She really did. She looked dominant in this match. This was the first time I was watching this besides, I believe it was the triple threat that she had. Was it Rhea, Bianca, and somebody else maybe? Or maybe that was another match. I don't know. But Rhea was in a triple threat that I really thought to myself, there's no way. But maybe. Nia looked dominant here. She did. She really did.
Yeah, this was a very old school approach here. Babyface gets beaten down. Big move happening. Babyface kicks out, makes the big babyface comeback, wins the match, celebrates in the end. It was very fundamental. Not to say that it was bad. It was very predictable, but I've even opened up, believe it or not, I've been so anti Nia Jax for most of her career. Seemingly, she's kind of putting things together. And I'm quite surprised at this. It's not like she's the best women's wrestler on the roster, but she's starting to take things a little bit more seriously all of a sudden. And I actually appreciate that, because if she does, it's another huge asset to that women's division, which already looks very impressive just by the sheer roster alone.
Look at how far you've come, huh? Look at us. Who would have thought?
Wow, man.
Not
JD
me.
he hates the women, man, you know?
You praising. This is we're having a moment here. You praising the Nia Jax match.
Gotta give her flowers, bro.
Bro, mission accomplished. I could retire. TNT's done.
Yeah.
I'm over it. It's good. This is the greatest moment in TNT. No, obviously, I love doing this stuff, but realistically, Nia had a really good match. I'm proud of you for acknowledging that and not just sticking to whatever, prerequisite everyone has of you, which is untrue. You call it like you see it, and this was a really good showing by Nia. And I will tell you that I would have never thought that we'd be here, but I'm proud we are.
Look at that. Listen, I'm not the hater everybody thinks I am, but Ripley attempted to take down Nia Jax right away with a Hurricane Rana. It didn't look that great because I don't really see her moving Nia Jax in that way. And then she put Ripley down, splashed her in the corner. She was being beaten up, a lot here. Like I said, it was an old school approach here to this match. Babyface getting beat up. Jax stomped Ripley, applied a stretch muffler. She even transitioned into a half Boston Crab here, man. I don't believe what I'm reading here. It's unbelievable.
This is why JD is a commentator for House of Glory. You hear this, man? With the moves?
So Jax
50 Hurricane Rana, Boston Crab into a go ahead.
It's like fucking ridiculous. Jax put Ripley on her shoulders. Ripley countered with a guillotine. Ripley still being beaten up here. She went for a springboard Hurricane Rana, but Jax dropped her with a huge power bomb and a leg drop for a near fall. Jax went for the Annihilator. She went to finish it early, but Ripley fought back, put Jax down with a big missile drop kick off the top. Jax comes back with a big Samoan drop. So Ripley hits another drop kick. She goes to the top rope, hits it. Jax cut her off, hit a Samoan drop off the middle rope of her own. Rhea Ripley kicked out. Jax then went for the Annihilator again, but Ripley put her on her shoulders in an electric chair position, posted her, and then hit a frog splash, Eddie Guerrero style, for a near fall.
JD, how insane was the Samoan drop off the top? Did you could like it almost? I felt like I was like, okay, this is a big spot, and she might be like hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look good. Ripley attempted for Riptide, but Jax powered out, and that sent Ripley to the floor. It was such a big kick out. So she dropped Jax on the apron to Rhea. Rhea went to powerbomb Jax on the announce table, but Jax countered and Samoan dropped Ripley on the table. Did not break, and then she jumps off. I don't know where she jumped off, a chair, or she jumped off on the barricade and delivered an elbow drop, which then put Rhea through the table, and the table broke. So Jax hit the Annihilator. Rhea Ripley kicked out, so that says a lot there. Jax did her finish, and Rhea kicked out. Jax went for the Annihilator again, but Rhea Ripley shoved her off the apron. She comes back fighting Rhea, and Rhea ended up hitting a superplex on Jax as Jax climbed to the top turnbuckle, and then a Riptide, which she did get her up in the Riptide, which looked great. She didn't get her up all the way like she would get a Liv Morgan, but she got her up. It was devastating. 1, 2, 3, and Rhea Ripley retains. Fireworks went off. Rhea Ripley celebrated outside with her family, and that's the way the show went off the air.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of knocked the whole why Rhea came out and or not Rhea, why Nia came out and destroyed all the chamber participants before the chamber. But one of my buddies, Billy, just texted me that. He's like, so do you feel wrong about what she said? I do. She looked dominant here. Good for her. They had a purpose.
Are you surprised that Becky didn't come out and kind of have that stare down like you predicted on Tuesday?
So they did something on social media where Becky was watching from a distance and she, kind of sold the match and everything else like that. But I do think that was a miss. The visual of Becky and Rhea would have been nice, but I also love that new regime. They gave Rhea her full moment with her family and let her absorb having that victory in her home country, which is, that's a moment, man. That really is. And one that she deserves. So good for her.
Yeah, guys, the Elimination Chamber was, it was not worth waking up at 4:30 in the morning to watch. If I didn't have to do this show with Drew today, or if I was by myself and Drew wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't have this show. But as far as the overall show, it did set the tone for WrestleMania. We got some clearer vision going into Philadelphia over the next 5.5, 6 weeks. We still got a lot of unanswered questions to kind of rummage through over the next course of 5 or 6 weeks. And the predictability of the show, I don't know how it really felt to you guys, but it did kind of damper it down a little bit. But this is the Nick Khan Triple H regime. They're going to make these B-level pay-per-views feel a lot larger than they used to be. International shows for these B-level shows, and then stadium shows for all the other shows that we're getting throughout the year. But at the end of it all, Drew, I feel like the way the PLEs in WWE have changed, they've changed for the better, no matter the predictability.
Well, this is the formula going forward.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to understand that. It's the international fan base has been starved for years.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first event since 2018 that was in Australia. So, and Puerto Rico, all that other stuff. They used to do New Year's Revolution and some other stuff in Puerto Rico. They used to go to the UK a ton, and they would have a Raw, SmackDown taping, all this other stuff. What they've done now is they've set up these B-level pay-per-views like you just described to have a significant platform and meaning overseas, because those fans are starved. The product's white hot, might as well do it. And then the U.S. fans come back for WrestleMania, and people travel for WrestleMania. And what the U.S. fans are getting are WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series for now, and the Rumble for now. And they're taking most of the other pay-per-views in between the Rumble and SummerSlam international, which is smart, drives huge business. And realistically, I said this to you, I think privately, but I'll say it on the air. And I love Minnesota, but if Elimination Chamber was in Minnesota, we're not getting 50,000 people at US Bank Stadium for that show. You're not getting. It's just not. The hype is so real overseas, and they've been starved for so long that they're going to continue to do this because they print money.
Yeah,
they print money. So get ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. We're going to get into your super chats in just a second. We had upwards to 3,000 people tonight, or today, rather. I don't know what fucking time of the day it is. We were almost double anybody else in the community, so thank you guys very much for all your love and support. Continue to hit that thumbs up. We need at least 25 more likes from my count here. 25 more likes for 1,000. Super chats.
So, I'm going to give them the opportunity. No, you have to be sorry. I'm going to give them the opportunity to get those 25 likes in so we get to 1K. JD touched on the WrestleMania matches, and we don't have a lot of answers, but we have some. And what they've done is they've built their 4 major matches with the exception of one. We don't know Dwayne's involvement yet. We will shortly, I believe, but we all know Dwayne's wrestling at WrestleMania. But they've solidified the 4 really main events, and they're all for major championships without Dwayne's involvement. You got Roman and Cody, Io and Bayley, Rhea and Becky, and now Seth and Drew. All for championships, all your money matches without Dwayne. And when we get Dwayne, that'll be your 5th money match. That's a lot of money on WrestleMania.
And I think we're gonna add Jimmy versus Jay. We're gonna add Gunther versus Sammy. We're gonna add Santos versus Rey Mysterio. Tag team title match between Judgment Day and Miz Truth. So that's 8 matches right there. I mean, and then the Logan Paul situation. Who knows if it's gonna be a one-on-one or a multi-man. You're looking at maybe 9 to 11 matches, maybe to come out of that. So we're looking like we have a stack card.
U.S. Intercontinental, both tag teams. There's 4 more there, and probably 2 or 3 more grudge matches. You're looking at 8 on top of the 4. You're looking at 12 to 13, 7 and 6 one night. That's what I would do. 7 and 6 matches. That's how I would do it.
That's perfect. Love it. We just hit 1,000 likes. Look at that. Drew X. We got 1056 out of nowhere.
Bang.
Super chats are open, guys. Get them on in. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer, and then we're going to go get some rest for the rest of the afternoon. Let's start with Michael Krause with a $5 super chat. Good morning, JD and Drew. We are so close to getting an answer from Cody. Maybe Google will have the answer. LOL. Thank you, JD and Drew, for the podcast. Thank you, Michael.
I think you should give him one just for doing that. Go ahead.
Give him what?
Go Google it.
Go Google it.
There you go.
I'm telling him I'm gonna make them to a shirt. Eric Newton with 26 months. After watching trailers for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it just further solidifies Sephiroth's status as gaming's greatest villain. He was always, even since the PS1 days, or the PS2 days. Thank you, Eric. Michelle with the $2 super chat. Feel like Seth is going to turn on Cody at WrestleMania. And also, no explanation from Cody. Again, feels fishy now. I don't think it feels fishy. I just think WWE is still trying to iron out the details, which they're taking a little bit too long for my liking. But I don't think he turns on Cody at WrestleMania. If it does happen, it happens after WrestleMania.
It could happen after or before, truthfully. I mean, you know, they could really stack the deck against Cody, where Cody gets turned on by Seth and he thought he had an ally and he has nobody.
Thank you, Michelle. Greg Vinson with a 199. No message. Thank you, Greg. Israel with a 499. Hey, JD, what a show. You are the GOAT. Your reviews are always a must-watch. Thank you, Israel. Greg also with a 199. JD is top 2 and he isn't number 2.
Listen, JD's been at this for a very long time. I'll easily be number 2. JD's 1, I'll be 2. Is that fair? I'm only kidding. JD works his tail off, and he deserves a lot of things. So, happy for him.
Thank you. Ricardo with a 499. Cody's explanation was about as intelligent as a box of crayons. I mean...
Damn. You can't talk about crayons in 2024. All them colors? Not a good idea.
Uh-oh, Ricardo. You're going to get canceled, bro. Ariel Assassin with a 199. Roman's biggest joke of a champ, 50K, and can't show up. Who do you want him to wrestle? Who do you want Roman to wrestle?
Right. I mean, realistically, what was Roman going to do on this card? Like,
Nothing.
the Grayson Waller thing would have been cool, but, I mean, yeah, he wasn't showing up for that. He wasn't showing up to wrestle.
Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. Rhea Ripley was absolutely eye candy tonight. Yeah, she's a very attractive lady. I will give her that.
You don't say.
Hassan with a 199. And the reason why no media conference after the show, because everybody's got to get back to the States for Monday Night Raw. You want them to wait even longer?
Okay, I'm going to explain this to you because I have friends, whatever you want to call them. They got out of Perth as soon as the show was over, and they're hopping on a red eye to Honolulu, and then they're all going to San Francisco to San Jose, I believe. So, like, it's hell right now for them. All the boys and girls.
Crazy.
Like, leave them be. They need to get the hell out of there.
Oh, my God. Jack Glancy with a $5 super chat. Happy to see my fellow countryman Drew McIntyre get the praise he deserves for the past month. Paul getting him a new contract and push him to the sun. Hopefully, man. We'll see. But, yes, Drew's been killing it, and he's easily one of the best aspects, if not the best aspect of Monday Night Raw right now.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the love. Only kidding. Yes, Drew McIntyre, full heeled, nasty. I don't care, Drew McIntyre. Dunking on CM Punk is where he needs to be.
Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. Bianca Belair is washed up as a babyface and her character is uber boring. She's in serious need of a heel turn. What do y'all think? Yeah, I think so. I've been saying that for months now, but I don't see them doing that because she's such a good PR spokesman for the company. And she's got this new reality show, too, which would be kind of weird if she's a heel.
And the whole premise of the reality show is like showing you the hardships and how tough it is to be not only a couple in WWE, but to travel. And I believe they want to have children. Like, that's the biggest aspect of the show. So,
Chaotic with a $4.99. They still didn't give us an answer, but a challenge was laid down. I still want Cody, but man, am I confused on this creative. Everybody is.
I'm confused too, but you want to know what? I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to go play football, and then I'm going to have some cold beers afterwards. You should do the same. If you don't drink, just relax, let it play out. I know it's overused, but let it play out.
Joseph Gonzalez with the $4.99. The fact that Waller didn't help Austin when he was getting double teamed makes me think that this was setting up Waller turning on Theory. I don't think that's it's a possibility, but I don't think that's the right move. I think them as a tag team. We were talking about the tag team division earlier. I think them as a pairing is actually very good.
I like it too, but I have a funny feeling you could see them in a singles match at Mania, and it does again.
Yeah.
Love Styles, I love Knight, but those two singles matches are to me.
Sean Ray J with a $10 super chat. Liv and Tiffany carried. I found it interesting. Liv pinned Tiffany and Bianca, both involved in her match Friday. Also, she lost the Chamber the same way she lost the Rumble. I think we are in for some LTB, long-term booking. Sure. They obviously got something with Liv. They like Liv, so I don't know what she's doing at WrestleMania, but we'll figure it out. Maybe it's Liv, Tiffany, and like Drew said, Bianca goes and teams with Naomi against Damage Control for the tag team titles.
Possibly. The only thing that I could guarantee coming out of this Elimination Chamber is the boys and girls all having jet lag, because I've done it, and it is brutal.
No, I don't.
I think it's like 11-hour difference. It's brutal.
That's ridiculous. Eddie with a super chat. Thank you, Eddie. Hi, JD. Why the hell did they make Becky win the chamber? Her wrestling is okay, but she can't even cut a promo. Sending love to you and Drew from India. Thank you for the 100 rupees, Eddie. Becky won the chamber because the match with Rhea Ripley is the biggest possible WrestleMania match for that entire division. And there's no other ways about it.
It's the biggest notch that Nia could put on her belt.
Yeah.
Beating Becky right now.
Juan Castle with a $4.99 right here eating some Rocky Mountain pancakes, watching the replay of the chamber. Australia crowd is alive. There seems to be a mystery angle. Cody versus BL. What is BL? Bloodline. I don't know. But some pancakes actually sounds good.
We had pancakes, we had steak, we had eggs and hash browns here.
There you go. Vinny with a $1.99. Theory is too good to get jobbed out 24/7. I agree, but he's got no character. We got to work on that. Black Wolf with a 10. Do you guys see Orton and KO in a triple threat match with Logan Paul so he can retain the title and then feud with LA Knight? Also, I'm predicting AJ Styles will win a world title this year. We may get a triple threat. We could very well be on our way to a multi-man. I see all those guys getting involved. I don't think Triple H wants to leave anybody off the card like that, especially Kevin Owens after he main evented last year. And AJ Styles will not win a world title this year. I think he's done winning titles.
Possibly. We'll see.
I think AJ, out of all the people there that may have free agency coming up, I think AJ jumps ship and ends his career in AEW.
Wow.
That's my prediction.
All right, I like it. I got Lexis King winning the NXT Championship in 4 months, and you got AJ Styles headed to AEW. I like it. Bold.
There you go. Hush with a $4.99. This is why Roman has to drop at WrestleMania. 50K stadium show and no men's world title match. My part-timer fatigue is at max level, but great show, you guys. Thank you, Hush.
All right, so think about this for a second. Exactly what you said. WWE's drawing power overseas sold 50,000 seats without even announcing a match. They just put Rhea, and it was the 2 chamber matches. Like, realistically, you knew you're getting both chamber matches, and you knew Cody and Rhea were going to be there. And they sold 50,000 tickets.
Yeah. Just goes to show you how hot WWE is and how starved that country was for wrestling. So,
yep.
WWE is going to not give you what you think, and they're just going to do what they want. David with a $4.99. Piper in Portland, Punk in Chicago, MJF on Long Island. Then there's Tiffany in Perth, but the Money in the Bank briefcase is hers. Yeah, I would say so.
Is Tiffany from Perth, Australia? No, right?
No.
So what do we? I mean, I love you.
I guess because of the crowd reaction that she got.
All right.
Michelle with a 2. If Orton is out hurt, who will be SmackDown's top face? I don't think he's hurt. I'm going with no, he's not hurt.
Even if he is right now, I mean, Cody's going to be their top face.
Yes. And right now, LA Knight's still hot, so he'll be slaughtered.
Tiffany Stratton's from Minnesota.
Oh, look at that.
Prior Lake. She was trained by Ken Anderson. I should know that. Sorry, Ken. I apologize.
There you go, man. Representing your city proud. Phantom, thank you again for the $100 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Phil with a $19.99. Cody versus Rock night 1. Cody versus Roman night 2. If anyone is going to wrestle on both nights of WrestleMania, it would be Cody. I mean, he wrestled with a torn pec at Hell in a Cell. That tag never made sense to begin with. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, spot on. I think Cody will wrestle Rock on night 1. I don't see that match taking place anywhere else but a WrestleMania. That's just me. RM Monster with a $4.99. Should Naomi join the Bloodline to help her stand out? Involve her in the eventual Civil War as well to manipulate Jimmy? People have been asking that since her last go-around in WWE, and they never followed up on it, so I'm not holding my breath. Black Wolf Inc. with a 10. I believe the reason why Naomi was eliminated first was because the other women had more current storylines than her. I don't like that Bobby Lashley was first on Ninja History Month either, but hey.
Careful.
I don't even want to ask.
Careful.
Carlos Ortiz with a $4.99. The Liv stands were so mad that Liv Morgan lost the chamber and were wishing death on Becky's daughter. Some people are pathetic. Was this a real thing? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Why? She was never meant to win it. Stop. The sun is out. Go take a walk. El Mulatto with a $9.99. Lashley's spear was like Goldberg spearing Jericho in the pod in 2003. Thank you, Mulatto. We just talked about that. Gunther told Sports Illustrated in 2022 his dream match was he wanted John Cena Well,
Yeah, who doesn't?
I mean, John should be chasing number 17. That's the only story left for him to tell. Brian Owens with a $5 super chat. Celebrating my birthday today and not happy Randy downgraded to a possible U.S. title match and LA Knight still can't get a title chance at Mania. But who's to say he's not?
Yeah.
He may be involved. George with a 5. As an early bird who always watches your replays, I just wanted to take this rare opportunity to say thanks to both of you for your passion and insight. George, thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you.
El Mulatto with a $4.99. Goldberg Spear was in SummerSlam 2003, which was also Randy's first ever Elimination Chamber appearance. Thank you, Mulatto.
Yes. Thank you.
Edward Liu with a 30. With hindsight, should LA Knight have replaced Styles versus Roman? Knight's star being stagnated, and I think he should have risen gradually instead. Yeah, I never agreed with LA Knight taking on Roman Reigns at the last Saudi show. I didn't like it. That's just me, though. But Styles was hurt. There was some sort of injury with Styles, so that's why that match didn't take place. Otherwise, I do think that would have been the plan. Aerial Assassin with a $1.99. Have a bad feeling they'll turn Seth heel at WrestleMania. It's a prediction, man. We'll see.
They could.
Black Wolf with a 10. Do you guys remember what led to Chris Jericho having career resurgence in 2016? He beat AJ Styles in a nothing match. Edge beat AJ, which led to Judgment Day. AJ gets his big run this year. Bet. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'd like AJ to get more of an priority and opportunity, but I just don't see it happening. Maybe this storyline with the OC goes somewhere. I don't know. Not really holding my breath for that one either. John Owens with a $1.99. Naomi came back for that. I feel bad for her. Don't. I'm sure she got paid much more than what she was being paid last go. Vinny with a $1.99. Tiffy, top of me. Yeah. She's great.
Y'all are
Chris,
thirsty as hell right now.
Fucking ridiculous. Chris Tiger Harris with the $2 super chat. JD giving Nia her flowers. Andrew is Dr. Phil for real.
Damn, just because Dr. Phil's bald doesn't mean I'm Dr. Phil. Damn. We got people talking about crayons. People want to touch your danger zone. What is happening here?
I don't know, man. Who else do we got here? Chris with a $4.99. What's up, JD Drew? Do we get Cody versus Rock night one? If so, Cody beats Rock and Roman. Cody did say he will take everything from Roman. Yeah, if Cody's wrestling Rock, he will win on night one for sure.
That would be something for Cody, man. That would
going all in. I mean, they're going all in on him. You could see why. Deontay with a $4.99. Nia Jax early candidate for 2024 most improved wrestler. Bro, we're not even through February yet. Give it some time, please.
JD, can you guys stop, please? Like you're trying to get
I gave my praise, man. What else you want? You're pulling my fucking arm here.
That super chat, but the other ones that are coming in here, like you're trying to get JD to say something that I'm not going to allow him, nor will Grim or Rage allow him to say either, because he's just trying to be nice and get through all of your super chats. But don't mistake my kindness for weakness, especially with his too. Enough. I see it. I'm not blind. He will never say that, even if he's trying to rattle these off. He's not saying what you're trying to get him to say. Okay?
Oh, God. Adam with a $6.99. Great show, Drew and JD, a.k.a. Google search engine of the IWC. Drew, I know you mentioned tag titles are made, but can you see trios titles being made for WWE? Yeah? Trios titles?
No.
No. AEW's got trios titles. Where are they?
AEW's got titles for days of the week.
Fuck out of here. RM Monster with a $1.99. Cody Crybabies versus Rocky Rejects on night one. Certainly looks like it. Gabriel Boss, 25. Drew, why is even a thought in your opinion that Cody might be screwed again at WrestleMania? History cannot repeat itself. WrestleMania 40 ends in the same vibe as WrestleMania 30.
You know why? Because sometimes I like to watch the world.
Yeah, usually I'm that way, but not this year.
No, I don't know. I just feel like, it would upset a large mass, but it also like makes them invest more, like, because people hate watch the product anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jason Barker with a $5 super chat. I woke up at 4:35 a.m. and watched it live. I thought it wasn't worth it. My sleep schedule is out the window now. Yeah, everybody else as well, man.
Thank you, Guardian. I saw you deleted it too. Thank you.
Sonny Singh, thank you, brother, with the 100 in UK. Hello, guys. I just came by to say hello. Dubai is hot. I've been going indoors to cool down, but my girlfriend Wednesday just loves the heat and cold. Sonny, hopefully you're enjoying your vacation in Dubai, brother. What the fuck you doing over here? Thank you. Go enjoy. Kal-El with a $10 super chat. I was so impressed with Nia Jax, and I enjoyed the match over the entire show, but I enjoyed the entire show, and yes, I was up this morning. JD and Drew are great as usual. Much love, and Mustangs rule. Thank you, Kal-El.
I'm more of an F-150 Raptor guy myself, but Mustangs are all right.
Keep that in mind for the new intro, guys. Ali with a 499. Hey, JD, do you ever see, like, Braun Breaker crossing paths with Judgment Day, even though that Braun is on SmackDown, having him feud with Dominic? Just saying. Ali, I think Braun Breaker is going to be paired with Paul Heyman sooner rather than later. He's going to be the next big thing in WWE. Pun intended. Damian Ellington with a 499. Question for Drew. Since you know a lot about behind-the-scenes stuff, why does AEW get away with profanity, but WWE, even on pay-per-view, are quick to censor?
Publicly traded company, numerous sponsors they don't want to lose, and all about the money. Here comes the money.
Anthony with a 499. Hey, JD, Drew, love you guys. Besides Bray in the Hall of Fame, who are your top 3 other inductees, and what do you think of Stallone's rumor for Mania?
Stallone makes sense. I said on a couple of shows that Cody getting the Rocky treatment makes sense. Yeah. Guys, the crayon comment was a joke. I'm just making a joke about how soft people are. Y'all don't have to go after the guy who made the crayon comment.
I mean, come on, guys. Bray in the Hall of Fame, I could see it. Paul Heyman in the Hall of Fame?
Paul Heyman for sure. It's Philadelphia.
Tommy Dreamer, like Sandman, one of those guys, maybe, you know, the ECW?
Maybe.
Sabu?
Tommy. Maybe. No.
No. I don't know, man. Chris Tiger Harris with a $5 super chat. For Drew, can you see MLB doing a free agency deadline since it takes forever for players to sign?
No. The collective bargaining agreement won't allow that. No way.
Black's Bro with a 499. Is it just me or you guys feel it? But these stadiums for crowds are not it for me. It makes the crowd feel lifeless and no reaction. Well, they are open-air stadiums, bro. It was open. I mean, the crowd is going to be a little bit less than if it was an enclosed space.
I'm going to be rude here, but nobody cares about what you or I think. They just want 50,000 butts.
Yeah.
An ass every 18 inches, my man. They don't care what you or I think.
Clone Force with a 199. I got Yeet and Punk 2011 shirt at Raw. Well, there you go. Congratulations, I guess. Phil with a 499. As predictable as this show may have been, WWE did their job as they planted a ton of seats for WrestleMania 40 while making big matches official. Hope all is well. Phil, thank you, brother. Yeah, there was a little clarity, some clarity coming out of the show, which is all we could really ask for. It's going to be an interesting next 5 weeks. Clone Force with a 199. U.S. title ladder match, and Randy Orton is okay. Or is Randy Orton okay? I'm worried. I think he's fine. I don't know why people are really harping on this. I don't see it being a major issue.
It's because I said something. I said he was laboring. Maybe he sold. Maybe he worked me really, really good. I don't know. My eyes normally good. Maybe I got worked, guys. It was early. Okay, maybe I got worked. Who knows?
Rooney from Pond Country, 199. I'm not reading that comment because it's a little sus. So thank you for your generosity, Rooney, for the 199.
If we don't get a Ferris Bueller's Rooney, we're not doing it right. Rooney!
The Grand Illuminist with a $5 super chat. It was so nice to see the American Nightmare and the Velveteen Nightmare together. No, I mean, I seen Drew mention this on Twitter. He did not take inspiration from Patrick Clark. Drew, who did he take inspiration from?
Prince.
Seth Rollins.
Prince. Guys, and he also had Lita pants on.
It's amazing how clueless the wrestling fans. Oh, he's got the Velveteen Dream look, like Dream invented that. Fuck out of here. Where do you think Dream's gimmick came from?
Prince.
God, man. Kal-El, hey JD, are your Mustangs manuals or automatics? They are automatics. I can't drive stick. Sorry. Mark Elaine. Message was deleted by Hologram. I guess he got to it before I could read it. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Travel through cuisine with a $5 super chat. Cody will lose at Mania. Rock and Roman will leave Cody bloodied, and that's how Mania ends. Man, you just want major anger coming out of Philadelphia, huh? No. And Ron McCoy with a 199, and he leaves no mess. And that's
Thanks,
it.
Ron.
Hologram says Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I
Jimi
mean, it was
Hendrix?
probably a bunch of different things, but I mean, Prince was definitely part of that inspiration. But, you know, it was inspiring to have damn near 3,000 people in here, JD.
Yeah, I know. And Metalhead for life, 26 months. You guys are the greatest, always perfect show. Thank you, Metalhead. Gabriel Boss with a 25. Nia Jax has 2 good matches in 2024. Kudos to her. Before this, I can only remember one good Nia match, and I'll give you one guess, JD. She's all elite. Mercedes? Yeah, Mercedes and Nia had decent matches, but that's in the past. Becky just had a good match with her a couple weeks back on Raw.
Yeah, Nia's really working her tail
Yeah.
off. I give her a lot of credit.
Guys, that's all we got for you, man. 2 hours we spent with you this afternoon after being up at 4:30 in the morning. I don't know what more you want from us, but you may see me tomorrow with some news. You'll see Drew and I on Tuesday for episode 37 of Tuesday's Night Titans. Drew, any parting words before I get the hell out of here?
I know a lot of you are upset about Seth Rollins not being involved in, or excuse me, I'm sorry. I just gave away what it was. Bronson Reed not being involved at the Elimination Chamber, but I believe if reports are correct, we just make sure.
He said he wanted a championship, and it looks like he might have wrestled Rollins if he didn't get hurt, right?
Yeah, exactly right. It's supposed to be Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. So there you go. Parting words, guys, enjoy what you enjoy, love what you love, but make sure you make time for those that matter, and enjoy your weekend. I thank you all for joining us.
Fun Shorts with a 199. JD, how's your cat doing? Love you, bro. She's doing a lot better today. She actually came up from the basement, started eating some solid food, and she slept with me in bed all night. So that is a huge turnaround after spending 3 nights in the basement all by herself. Thank you, Fun Shorts. And Kal-El with a $2 super chat. I'm so disappointed in you, JD. Love you, though. And listen, bro, I don't drive stick. What the fuck do you want from me, man? Nobody ever taught me. It's okay.
He knows his limitations.
Nothing wrong with the Dark Horse being automatic. Still going to want to get inside and take a ride anyway, so it don't matter. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much. I will see you probably tomorrow with something. I'll see you live from Monday Night Raw, and then Drew and I will be here live again with you on Tuesday Night Titans. We are now officially on the road to WrestleMania, and we got you covered on Tuesday night, guys. Thank you for a great stream. 3,000 in here, 1,100 plus likes. Thank you for the super chat love, and we will see you all on Tuesday night for episode 37. See you guys later.